Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Making sure everything is working. YouTube seems to have auto-removed that message that you made, but it is showing up in the multi-chat, oddly enough. I guess they're not as in sync as they could be. Alright. Checking everything, making sure everything is good. I decided to put a new doc on OBS for the kick information, so that I know who, so that I don't have to keep opening and closing Internet Explorer. Legoshi is the main character from Beastars, whose name is apparently a reference to Dracula, by the way. So, yeah, there's that. Denmise. I don't even know. Alright, making sure everything is up and running. Hello, Jackal. Good to have you back. Alright, let's see. You might notice here in the made from Legos, you've never seen Beastars before, or have you at least ever heard of Beastars, Jackal? Any resident furry should know his furry anime. Which, by the way, I still need to watch Season 3. I haven't gotten around to watching Season 3 yet because I just haven't really found the time. I mean, I could watch it any time, but I should have the Netflix password to it, but yeah. But you might be noticing at the corner of the screen here, the other day, when we were streaming, there was someone on Kick who was making some very, very off-color remarks about... No, it's not weird. It's Zootopia, but edgier. That's what Beastars is. So, I will not be seeing any weird Beastars 4. Thank you very much. Which, Jackal, you might want to be careful with what you say. If you take a notice at this notice here at the corner of the screen, you're gonna want to be a little careful. Which, Mod, if you're listening, don't worry, Jackal's just cool. Jackal's cool. Hey, Fugly Pug, welcome back again. It's nice to have you here. Please pay attention. So yeah, pay attention to the corner here. Be respectful of me and the other chatters. Any overtly violent or sexual remarks about me or any other chatter can and will result in a ban at the modder's discretion, so type at your own risk. Yeah, someone was on Kick asking if they could make Vosh-style you-know-what for his 6E20-something, whatever it's called. And the mod that I've been working with ended up banning them. Now, I was joking around at first, but I understand why it had to be done. So, yeah, Jackal, don't worry. As long as you're not being too overt, you shouldn't have anything to worry about. Yeah, I got a mod. Well, I've actually had this mod for like a few days, I don't really remember. It was like last week. They work with the guy that's helping to optimize my Kick channel, which is super nice. Yeah. So yeah, and they're gonna help out on YouTube as well as Kick. But apparently YouTube is a bit harder to mod than Kick, so we got all that behind the scenes. Yeah, we got some really good stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm so grateful to have a team that wants to help me out. We got quite a few people helping out in the background, so it's very, very convenient. I do have a few things on the docket here. The first thing I like to mention is that anyone that does like keep up with my channel will notice that I didn't upload anything today. I was watching some videos on YouTube about like what to do and what not to do when you start your YouTube channel, and this one video suggested like waiting at least 24 hours before making a video public. Like, you upload the video, but you keep it as either unlisted or private. I've been keeping them unlisted so that YouTube can like analyze the video so that it would be able to be found like more easily by a lot of people, and like the algorithm and search engine and all that. So I have quite a few videos that are currently like unlisted. I don't. Oh, I think I've seen that before, Jackal, on a. What's the name of that one geopolitical meme maker? Drew something. He looks at a lot of geopolitical memes, and that's. I don't want to do. Yeah, I know about the Battle of the Bulge and all that stuff from like World War II. I understand. I do know what you mean when you what you mean when you say that, but yeah, regarding YouTube videos, yeah, I'll be waiting. I wanted to upload one of the Metatron reactions that I did the other day, but I decided that it would be best if I simply waited a little long to like said. The video that I was watching recommended waiting at least 24 hours, and not only that, but it also mentioned titling. Obviously, I've been like titling videos in a way that they're a little easily searchable within certain contexts, but it also mentioned titling the video and thumbnail files the same exact way, which I've been using like very abridged titles for the video files and thumbnail files, but now I'm going to try to make a habit of using the titles that I would like to use in hopes that YouTube will be able to better, like, I guess, organize it. I don't know how it works. No, the YouTube algorithm has been very janky as of recently. A lot of smaller creators have been hit where some videos will not do very well, whilst others, usually more drama-related videos, will do, like, absurdly well. And it's like, I mean, I get it. Drama gets clicks, but I'm just saying there are a lot of people that have like more, I guess, meaningful content that they want to make, but they can't really get there, right? Like, yeah, there's a few, so much so that like I mentioned Metatron, he had to do like 3 videos a day and an occasional live stream just due to how the algorithm was working, since it's his livelihood, and I wouldn't want anyone to have to suffer financially just because YouTube decided to make some changes. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm working behind the scenes to get my Kick channel optimized, so that, knowing how YouTube's been very wishy-washy with its algorithm, Kick is definitely the more safe bet with regards to that. But that's all I got in that regard. There was a streamer, or no. There was a chatter the other night who was wondering if the VODs that I have on YouTube would have the comments like permanently disabled. And when I heard that, I was like, wait, what? The comments on the VODs were disabled? And so I was like, oh, that was the first time hearing about that. I just assumed that the comments would be available to, like, post whatever you wanted. I didn't realize that they were turned off on each of my VODs. So I made sure that immediately after the stream ended, I went through every single VOD that was already on the channel, and I turned on the comments for them. So, hopefully, I know that oftentimes impossible Chinese typewriter. We could probably take a look at that. I do want to get through certain videos first, so that, yeah, I want to be the type of streamer that talks about those kinds of things, I mean, not to take spotlight away from others that are probably better than me at doing that kind of thing, but at least I have my priorities in check. Apologies. But yeah, the comments should be enabled for all of the VODs moving forward. I will make sure that I double check all of this VOD once it's done, once I'm done streaming and the VOD is done processing. I'll be able to check that out and make sure that the comments are enabled. And one more thing before we actually get started is I recently got new glasses in, which, by the way, I wear glasses. Yes, my avatar does not have glasses, but this actually made me think of a little something that I thought about, not too long ago. I had ordered some dinner and I went to go pick it up, and on my way to go pick it up, I thought about what I would say with regards to my new glasses. I was thinking to myself, you know how sometimes you'll have a lot of like talking animal characters and sometimes they have glasses, like the way that glasses are designed, you have to like put them over your ears, yet you take a look at something like this and the ears are like way up, and so like how exactly would okay both of you you guys are crazy, but regarding that, how exactly would an animal be able to wear glasses? I mean, you can't exactly put it on these, what exactly would you guys call the tufts of fur on the sides of animals' faces? They're not sideburns. I don't think that's a very... What insurance covers this type of... okay. No, I got frames that are just easy to adjust. Like, I originally had these hard plastic frames that were like, I had to go in to the eye doctor office in order to get them adjusted, and even after that, I still couldn't get them right. When I was there, I think that they would be... I think my ears might be lopsided or something like that, because I feel more weight on my right ear when I'm wearing these glasses. Cheek tufts, it makes sense. Like, do animal characters that wear glasses put them on their cheek tufts? It's like, because their ears might be too high up, unless, I don't know. Google's makes more sense. Okay, you guys can talk. But... yeah, for some reason I feel more weight on my right ear than I do my left ear, and when I was trying on these new glasses for the first time, I was trying to bend my glasses so that there's more weight on my left ear, which implies maybe I might have crooked ears, but I don't know. That's, I mean, I could get a little glasses accessory for my avatar, but I'd rather just leave it as is. So, yeah, that's that. But, before we get started, does anyone have any, anything that they need to talk about? Or anything like that before we get started? The first thing that I wanted to look at is a video by the YouTuber Atozi regarding Nepal electing their new government on Discord, which... is certainly something. Imagine we have a Discord-based election. That would be very, very difficult, I can imagine. Apparently there's quote-unquote Gen Z riots all over because they're tired of getting screwed over by the older generations or something, but... I've never participated in any protests or riots, mostly because I don't feel like it, I don't want to, and I don't have the time. So... but if anyone has anything that they would like to talk about before we get started, feel free to let me know, and then I will see what I have to say on the matter. But, yeah, and then after that, there are two Metatron videos that I wanted to look at. And then there's a decoy voice video, and then a legal mindset video. And then this one bonus video that, I had to show you guys, but that one might end up getting copy claimed because, of course it would, because music, YouTube's copy system is absurdly broken. And of course, this is nothing new to anyone who's been on the internet for that long, especially with regards to, you don't have anything, okay, well, I think we can get... Let me go ahead and just move it on over. I probably won't do YouTube, like the past few times I've been doing a little intro section to the React videos, but I think it's best that we just simply get on to it. All right, if nobody else has any things that they wanted to talk about, then we can go ahead and look at this video about Nepal by Atozi. All right, let me actually check the stream so that everything is looking all right. All right, Kick is looking fine. YouTube is also looking all right. God dang it, open up. There we go. And let's see. All right, let's go ahead and move on over. So yeah, but before we move on over, make sure you guys have read this notice. The ban notice will also be within the description of the stream and the later VOD. So, but this notice will be up every time at the beginning of every stream, so that anyone who is new to the stream will be able to know. So be careful what you say, especially you, Jackal. I know you're all right though. You never say anything like overt. You're just messing around. So, all right, just be careful. That's all I can say. Be careful. All right, let's go ahead and move on over. All right, so yeah, the first thing that I wanted to do was check out this video by Atozi about Nepal electing their new government on Discord. I did watch this one video by someone gay named "We Hate the Cold" about the side of Nepal the media won't show you. Yeah, there's been a lot of things going on in Nepal. Granted, these same things have been going on all over the world, so it's not surprising that Nepal would also join in on the action, let's call it. I was going to say the fun, but I don't think there's anything fun about something like this. So, alright. If we're watching this as a standalone video on YouTube, be sure to check out Atozi's channel and his original video. And, hold on. And let's go ahead and get started. But let me put the video on a higher speed so that we don't have to spend too much time. I have to make sure that everything is all plugged in, and let's go ahead and see what's going on in Nepal.
Nepal just banned social media, and within days, the entire government collapsed. Parliament was on fire, and Gen Z just elected a new leader on Discord. Yes, you.
Oh, so they banned social media. I mean, I get it. I don't really like social media. Short sleeve shirts and whalebone corsets. I don't even want to know what a whalebone corset is. But apparently they tried to ban social media. I can understand why people would be upset by that. I mean, granted, I don't like social media because I don't like when people talk shit about each other, but it's obviously it could be seen as a suppression of speech, which, shocker.
Heard that right. The same app that most people talk about video games and hang out after work and school is now hosting the political future of a country. I can honestly say I never expected to wake up to this headline from the New York Times, but here we are. Normally, I do not cover anything political, but since this is a foreign nation and also all of this went down on Discord, I thought that I needed to cover this one because this is just a wild story.
Everyone's resident slop. Well, I don't think Atozi would be considered a slop tuber. If anyone's the quintessential slop tuber, it's more Pegasus, but, you know.
The fact that this is even happening right now feels like a fever dream to me. Honestly,
I can imagine that's what it is, Jackal.
Everything after 2020 is basically a fever dream at this point. But
right.
On August 28th, 2025, Nepal's government gave social media companies a deadline. Register with the Ministry of Communication or set up a local compliance office or get shut down. It's kind of like what the US did with TikTok, but on a way larger scale. Instead of just one platform being told to comply with the government's safety standards, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, it was almost all of them. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, X, and so on, but obviously all of them ignored this, so on September 4th, the government pulled the plug, banning 26 major platforms overnight. The move was supposed to tighten control. Instead, it completely lit a match.
Well, of course, a lot of these governments, whenever you try to control the media, obviously, I mean, they did it during National Socialist Germany, they did it in Soviet Russia, they're still trying to do it. UK is still trying to do it with, like, the Online Safety Act.
Literally.
The whole building is burned through!
This kind of reminds you of something, doesn't it? Back in LA, only I don't.
People were furious, and by people, one particular group was the loudest, Gen Z. Basically,
Gen
any
Z.
media coverage here was labeled as the Gen Z revolution, which isn't surprising considering that that's the generation raised on the platforms that Nepal banned practically overnight. Now, the social media ban was the immediate trigger, but this was not the only reason people got this mad.
Yeah, they are trying to do it here. They're trying to do it everywhere, really. I'm. I wish I knew what they were saying. I don't speak Nepali.
Because obviously this doesn't happen overnight. Something has been brewing for months over corruption, joblessness, and what came to be labeled as Nepo kids. Because on
Sounds like many other parts of the world, although, including here in the US, we've got plenty of Nepo babies fucking shit up.
TikTok and Reddit, young Nepalis started posting clips that showed corrupt politicians as children, living it up abroad, driving luxury cars, studying abroad, flaunting wealth, and this is all while ordinary Nepalese struggled to find jobs or were forced to migrate overseas for work. I mean,
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
we're talking about a country where 1 in 4 people
The fact
are
that
below
they
the
have it tagged is insane.
poverty line. So obviously, this trend put a large group of people's anger at a low boil. And this is also right after the political leaders gave themselves a massive raise. So you have this
Oh, of course. Of course. What do you do when your people are struggling? Just boost yourselves. They'll understand.
Marxist-Leninist government giving themselves and their families massive payouts from government funds, and they're whipping around luxury cars while 25% of the people are below the poverty line. So protesters
25 kids below the poverty line. One population running out of time.
carried signs directly calling these people out as Nepo kids. One viral Reddit post summed up the anger. When you see politicians as children, it feels like taxpayers' money has funded their luxury cars, foreign education, and lifestyle, while ordinary youths are forced to work hard abroad. And clearly, this resonated, because Transparency International gave Nepal a corruption score of just 34 out of 100 in 2024, underscoring exactly what people were fed up with. For context, Norway is rated at an 81, the USA is a 65, and the United Kingdom is a 71. So 34
The United Kingdom needs to be lower.
is definitely lacking compared to the Western world. So when the government tried to ban Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, it just wasn't about losing social media. It was about a generation that already felt ignored, broke, and betrayed by the same leaders who've been in charge for decades. And
That's how it is in a lot of parts of the world, including here. We still have a whole bunch of old people in office that clearly don't understand how the young people work, obviously, especially with regards to social media. I mean, there's the whole Texas anime ban simply because they don't want lewd material to be distributed to kids, which that's always the excuse, right? It's always the kids.
this is why these protests snowballed so fast. The social media blackout poured gasoline on the fire that was already burning. So when the ban hit, tens of thousands of Gen Z Nepalis stormed to the streets chanting, "Stop the ban on social media, stop the corruption, not social media." What started as a digital protest turned into full-blown riots.
Yep.
Crazy, man.
Makes you wonder what the actual laws in Nepal are regarding protests. I can't speak on behalf of the laws of other countries.
I heard, brother. I heard.
Oh yeah, this was the guy whose video I watched about the side of Nepal that the media won't show you.
Nepal government deserves this. Actually, they deserve this. You know, we don't want to do this by our own choice. We are doing this because they deserve it. We can
Because they deserve it.
do it. We can Nepal. You can.
Granted, I don't really agree with wanting to destroy property, right? I don't think that's very good. Like, when it comes to, like, actual peaceful protests, that's one thing. But when it escalates to violence, then... Well, it kind of depends. Like, the LA riots were very much unjustified. But here, it's not exactly justified, but it's a completely different context.
And we will change Nepal.
And police cracked down hard, firing rubber bullets, tear gas, and even live rounds into crowds. Over 300 people were injured, more than 30 people were killed in just days.
Oh,
So
Lord.
tensions spiraled, crowds pushed police back, overturning barricades, fires broke out across crowds, and by nightfall, Parliament itself was burning. I mean, we're talking about a generation who overthrew the government based on an entire trend and the social media being banned. So what flag did they attach to the burning Parliament? The One Piece flag.
Really? You know, this same thing was happening in Indonesia as well, where there were people flying the fucking One Piece flag. There better not be a connection to Hamas, Diddy Bin Laden, Adolf Epstein, Piker.
Yeah, that's a real image. We live in a fascinating world.
There's no way that Hassan could have possibly influenced any of these people. I bet you Hassan isn't even talking about this. You know, the mainstream media won't talk about stuff like this. They didn't talk about what was going on in Indonesia because it's not as important as whatever the hell is going on in the Middle East or Thump Bad. Those are the only... Israel, Palestine, and Thump Bad are the only things that the mainstream media wants to talk about. They don't care about any of this other stuff.
They have done it, yes. You've broken into Parliament. Yes.
Within 48 hours, the Home Minister resigned, the Prime Minister stepped down, and the army imposed a curfew. Nepal had no leader, no government, just smoke, grief, and a power vacuum. And here's where things get pretty surreal. With gatherings being banned and soldiers on the streets, young Nepalese turn to Discord to figure out what comes next. So
the collective population of Nepal just decided that to all unanimously use Discord? Or is it specifically Gen Z that's doing it? No, Armenians? Oh, Lord. The Armenians have been dealing with a whole lot of stuff for years.
To quote the literal headline from New York Times, the Parliament of Nepal right now is Discord, the voice communication app. They're not in Discord, or they are in Discord, but they're literally on the app Discord. So, I mean, if you thought I was exaggerating about the beginning of this video, I was not, because just think about the breakdown I just went through. The active...
It's like, no, this is basically a neo-direct democracy, if we want to call it that. Like, the way that it worked in ancient Athens, it was a direct democracy where, well, adult male citizens got together and vote on issues. Most democracies in the modern day are representatives. We vote for people to talk about issues instead of us talking about the issues themselves. I wonder if that's what's going on here.
Part of this revolution, the burning and the gathering in the streets happened practically overnight. It led to parliament burning and leadership stepping down. Now, these seats are unfilled. Hell, I mean, pretty much everything about the government now is up in the air. In less than 4 days, the server exploded to over 145,000 members.
Damn.
Voice chats, video streams, text debates, all live, all extremely chaotic. It was all done on a Discord server, so...
Right, if we're talking about... I don't have a good size comparison in terms of a relation to a U.S. state, but Nepal is relatively small, at least compared to some of its surrounding countries, so I can't imagine it'd be that hard to rally people together in such a context, but who knows.
This is definitely a very fascinating human experiment. National television even started reporting on what was happening inside of the Discord server, which is called Youths Against Corruption. But again, in true online fashion, you don't have to follow the news to watch what they're actually deciding, because you can watch it live. They're streaming it. I mean, I don't even know what to call this time.
Maybe we should do that at some point. I don't know what time it is in Nepal right now, but...
anymore, because what do you even mean? The government was overthrown for banning social media, and now the new government is actively being decided on Discord? Okay.
What a time we live in. No, I remember a friend of mine one time saying that we live in the wrong timeline in the sense that Trump wasn't supposed to win the 2016 election, but he did anyway, so there must have been a break in the matrix.
The server was ran by Hami Nepal, a civic group that helped organize protests. Moderators, some literally fresh out of high school, suddenly found themselves leading the country's most important conversation. These dudes might actually be known as the Discord founding fathers of Nepal. We are living in such a fascinating timeline. But moderator Sashwat Lamanchani explained the point was to simulate a kind of mini election. And by the way, Sashwat, the moderator, graduated high school just a few months ago. So
shit, no. I mean, technically, like in the US, you could run for office once you turn 18. A friend of mine in our senior year tried to run for office, but obviously since we were still in high school, obviously he got turned down, but you never know.
This is just incredible. Names were floated on who they should elect. They threw out people like Sagar Dakal, a young political candidate, Kulman Gingsing, a former head of Nepal's electricity authority, and even former Chief Justice Shushila Karki joined the live call. So active politicians...
so even though they rejected some officials and accepted others...
were on this call to campaign, I guess. And after hours of debating and multiple polls, the Discord group coincided around Karki as their interim choice. And here's the kicker. The army actually met with Discord organizers and then with Karki herself.
So even the army is cooperating.
Alongside of Nepal's president. Think of that. Generals sitting down with a nominee chosen on the same platform most of us use for gaming. But it wasn't just smooth sailing, because open servers meant trolls.
I didn't realize. Well, I do... Yeah. I was gonna say, well, I do live in Ohio, but, you know,
outsiders,
I
random
don't know everything about Ohio's laws.
people screaming into VC. At times, the moderators were panicking, saying, in quote, "Please decide on a representative right now. We do not have time." One participant, Sam Yadav, described it as very disorganized, like a random social media call. Well, it was all on Discord, so what do you expect here? But still, the fact remained, in a moment of total collapse, a Discord server had become the most important room in Nepal. Experts say this is completely unheard of, and to them, I
How have I never heard of this? The only thing that Pink Diamond has heard is that it's unheard of.
say, yeah, no shit. This is crazy, which is why I wanted to cover it here on this channel. Stephen Feldstein of the Carnegie Endowment called it pretty unprecedented and pointed out that while social media is great at mobilizing protests, it rarely produces stable political structures.
I can
so
imagine.
Nepal is just this like extremely fascinating social.
So I can imagine this is just a sort of like transitionary thing. Hello, Del Royal, welcome back. But I can imagine this being a transitionary thing, just as a. I don't want to say that it's a government in exile, because I don't think that's the correct term for it. I don't think that's an accurate comparison. I'm not exactly sure what to call it other than a transitional government.
Experiment right now. What's going to happen? We'll definitely be paying attention. But in Nepal, this Gen Z-led Discord parliament has already influenced the army and shaped the next interim leadership.
Shit.
So he can only critique it so much. So again, we just kind of have to wait and see what happens. The most ironic part is that the government banned social media to silence people and ended up making the internet the center of political power. So Nepal just became the first country where Discord helped elect a government. And by the way, now they have officially elected this lady. So
all right. Welcome, Sushila Karki. I don't know if I said that right.
I guess next time someone calls someone a Discord mod with no life, just remind them, hey, watch it.
Oh, watch it. We're gonna influence an entire election.
Might overthrow a government. Because in Nepal, that's exactly what happened. So hey, subscribe if you're new, drop a like if you enjoyed this breakdown.
No, that was crazy. That was a good video. If I make this reaction into a standalone video, I'll put links in the description. But damn, the fact that we have Discord deciding elections and putting officials in office. Imagine what that would be like for the US. I'd imagine it would be very, very difficult, considering that the US is much, much bigger than Nepal. Especially since a lot of the older generations don't exactly know how social media works. So... Oh, that's crazy. Even the US government and government official is already... Damn, that's crazy. No, that's... I don't know what else to say other than... No, this'll certainly be... Oh, imagine, frickin'... hello, Julius1212. Thank you for joining us. But no, that was a great video. No, this is all like crazy. It's fascinating stuff. I know a lot of people talk about how unfortunate the current state of the world is, but I usually tend to be one of those glass half full types of people. I always try to look on the bright side, always finding the light within shadow. Like, even, like, Kingdom Hearts, talking about even within the deepest darkness. Yeah, they don't know how tech works. They still... Now, granted, my parents are Gen X, so they understand the technology fairly well. So, they're obviously in the know. Don't call my dad a boomer. Alright? Do not call my dad a boomer. My parents are Gen X, and from what my mom told me about Gen X, they didn't give a damn. You still... Aw, sorry to hear that. But yeah, my mom tells me that Gen X didn't give a damn. Apparently my mom did some... crazy... Apparently told me that they did some crazy things in high school. No, I remember I got in trouble at some point along with some classmates of mine. Some of us, I didn't do this, but I was there when it happened. Some of us went atop the roof of a middle school within our district, and they caught us on tape, and we were called to the office, to which one of the people that was with us took the fall, because it was their idea, and then we had to tell our parents about what happened, and when I told my parents about what happened, they were like, "Is that it?" No, my mom told me that she did much worse than that, which I honestly can't imagine either of my parents doing anything worse than venturing on top of the roof of a school, but She told me Gen X is crazy. I don't know. So I can't really speak on behalf of that. So, you know, but that was a great video. The next thing, let me check chat and stuff. Make sure everyone is doing all right. But hold on. I got to go back to what Jackal said earlier. They wanted I need to put okay. I have to remember to here, I got a impossible Chinese. To go to Pittsburgh. Oh, good lord. That's crazy. Here, I need to let me type in that one video that you multiple times. Oh, damn. All right. Whatever you say. I'm trying to type in the videos that you suggested, Chinese typewriter, which I feel like I've seen that before in my recommendations. But the next thing that I wanted to look at was this Metatron video about Destiny. For those of you who don't know, Destiny is another leftist political streamer in similar vein to Hassan Piker, only he's not quite as radical as Hassan in the sense that even Destiny doesn't support terrorists, but he has accusations of revenge prawn of his whatever, and apparently gets into like open relationships with other girls and guys, and his son apparently went down the Nick Fuentes rabbit hole, which tells you all you need to know about who. I do not want Destiny manifesting anything anywhere near me, so he can get out of my face because I'm not interested. But yeah. So yeah, regarding his son, the fact that he's gone down the Nick Fuentes rabbit hole tells you everything you need to know about Destiny as a father. I mean, people talk about having absent fathers in their lives, leading them down the road of less than ideal lifestyles, but oh, yeah, Destiny has a son. He's like 14, and he's gone down the far-right pipeline because yeah. The fact that this is the first time you guys know about this. No, I remember listening to some of the things, like, apparently, oh my god, it's fucking insane. No, Destiny's son's freaking cooked. No, apparently it has to do with, like, the fact that he doesn't pay that much attention to his kid and has an open relationship with, like, other guys and stuff, which, I mean, oh my god, Jackal, you're out of control today. But yeah, but either way, before we check out the Metatron video, if this is a standalone video reaction, make sure you check out Metatron's original video and leave a like and sub to him and me and all that good jazz. And let's see what Metatron has to say about Destiny. We've already reacted to 2 Metatron videos in the last stream. One about the Charlie Kirk's assassin, and the second one was about Hassan. But now we're about to talk about Destiny. Destiny might not support terrorists, but that doesn't mean that he isn't a radical in his own right.
Welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. You know how a few days ago I made a video dedicated...
Oops. Sorry about that. I've had these tabs open for a while.
Talking about Hassan Piker. Well, today we've got another one, as you know, and this video is dedicated to Destiny. Now, whatever you may think about Destiny's ability to speak, debate, positions, rhetoric, political analysis, is all completely irrelevant.
Yep. Nothing he says really matters. Nothing any radical on either side nothing they really say matters. Like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Hassan Piker, Destiny, nothing they say holds any weight within their respective sides.
Because as it was the case with Hassan Piker, he too has crossed multiple lines.
Yep.
I used to watch his debates sometimes. I watched him debate Andrew
Why I engage with extremists, says the extremist.
Wilson. I watched him debate Ben Shapiro. And in general, I enjoyed listening to positions from both sides in order for me to maintain an open mind and seeing how people counter arguments that otherwise you would only hear within echo chambers.
The thing is, I already know what both sides have to say, and I'm not particularly interested in either of them.
However, I completely stopped watching him after he made fun of the firefighter who lost his life during President Trump's assassination.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I distinctly remember that, saying that it didn't matter if they got caught in the crossfires, that if you were anywhere near one of those rallies and you got shot and killed, apparently to him, you deserve it.
Attempt. At that point, I thought that Stephen Bonnell had reached his new low.
Oh, his real name is Stephen Bonnell? Well, that's my first time learning about his real name.
Lowest point, but boy was I wrong. It seems like
So it just gets worse, huh?
that similarly to Piker Boy, Destiny has also been calling for political violence for a while and appears to have had no repercussions when it comes to possible deplatforming or even legal procedures when it comes to that.
How surprising. No, that's the thing. Gotta think about... No one remembers, right? I mean, there are some things about topics from like those times ago that we still like learn about in school, like the civil rights movement. Obviously, things like that we're still, well, at least where the district that I went to, we learned about the civil rights movement and those kinds of things. But when it comes to some of the more, I guess we can call them trivial things, they're not really all that. You're not wrong, Jackal. That's all I can say.
So far. Watch.
I'm ready for the fucking...
Here we go.
The great cleansing, dude.
Oh my god. Great cleansing. What is this stream all about? Whatever I need it to be. Well, we were just welcome to the stream, Erroristic. We were just talking about Nepal electing a new government on Discord, and right now we're reacting to a YouTuber named Metatron. Is it an education? We could talk about educational stuff after we're done looking at all this, but right now we're reacting to a Metatron video about Destiny in the context of some stuff that has been happening in the US as of recently.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
No, when I heard the cleansing, I was like, oh, hell no. As in an enlightenment. Well, I don't like to think of myself as enlightened. I'm actually kind of glad you brought that up. Hot take. If you consider yourself to be enlightened, then you might not actually be enlightened. Personally, it's better that other people consider you enlightened, or rather the majority. Obviously, people will consider Hassan to be enlightened, even though he's anything but. But when it comes to, like, certain people that have, like, genuine convictions, where they don't mean any harm or ill will towards anybody, and they just want to be good to each other and share the truth and tell the truth, and seek that truth, then I guess you could consider that to be enlightening.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives.
Oh, hell no. Freaking, of course. I knew that was going to happen.
You gonna be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it.
What a bitch. All of these people, a lot of these people on the far ends of both sides of the spectrum are a bunch of bitches.
You genuinely do hate conservatives, don't you?
Very much so. Like I've moved full on to like the political violence level, or the real violence
So he's admitting it.
level when it comes to
Oh, wait a minute. I think I've seen this clip before.
conservative people. Yeah, I think they need to be like excised from my fucking country. I think they are demonstrably fucking evil people by any moral system that most people
Says the evil person that shared revenge porn.
would use.
Yeah, you instead are a saint.
And then I just hate them
Preach, Metatron.
because they tend to destroy the outcomes related to this country, which is what I'm concerned with. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a topic I'm not yet sort of ready to touch.
No.
Conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever.
Yep. Challenge. Impossible. Because they lack discipline.
the fuck, okay, because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like,
the world would be better off if you were permanently removed off the platform.
there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again.
Neither should you or Hassan Piker. Both of you need to get the hell out of here.
It's exclusively bad stuff that happens. Conservatives have been
I think you have been disgusting for years.
And that's the thing about these types of people. They're always quick to point the other side, even though they are literally no different from that side.
The logical idiocy of trying to tell us that laughing and making fun of Pelosi's husband's situation is horrific and ending up doing the same thing. Hypocrite. Of course, making fun of what happened to Pelosi is wrong, was wrong.
Wait, what happened to Pelosi?
Should be condemned, but you did the same thing, so you're no better than the people you say you hate. You should hate yourself now. There are plenty of people in this world who have never made fun or laughed at someone else's misfortunes. You're not one of them. So what happens? This is, of course, just the tip of the iceberg. Let's have a look at what kind of posts he has produced after the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
Are we? For instance, there is this clip during a...
Oh, no. Oh, God. Of course, Piers Morgan. Well, no, we need to do... Eventually, we're going to have to do a Piers Morgan reaction at some point.
Morgan Uncensored, the following statement was made. Stop calling everyone you disagree with Nazis. There is a real world out there, and your words can make people pick up guns.
Oh,
I agree,
shit.
100%.
Oh, shit.
What does Mr. Bonnell say in response to that? You know what actually legitimizes widespread violence? Question mark. The President of the United States constantly reminding people that the 2020 elections was fraudulent. Close quotes. The words spoken, the claims made by the President of the United States do not legitimize any form of widespread violence. And in this type of mentality that causes outcomes such as what happened to Charlie Kirk. And mind you, this post was made 23 hours ago, which means after the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Right.
No. Whatever.
I don't know. I really don't know what to say with regards to that. I mean, I know people have their feelings regarding the administration, but I'm just saying.
Statement made by the President of the United States legitimizes you to use your words to disagree or make debunking videos if that's what you want to do. That's what it legitimizes you to do. I get...
No, shit. No, members of the administration are all like, yeah, we don't care if you disagree with us. Feel free to disagree with us, but we're going to do what we think is best for the country. Yet here we have freaking people like Destiny and Hassan acting as if they are worse than the Austrian painter fan club.
You could strike as long as you keep it peaceful, but that's it. What else did he post? Let's check this one on his page.
God.
I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn. He's very, very strategic.
He's a Satan spawn. Of course he is. But words will... sticks and stones may break my bones, but words are but brittle chimes in the windstorm. That is according to, Arnold's grandma Pookie from Hey Arnold. But according to Timmy Turner's dad, it's sticks and stones may break my bones, but words are the psychological wounds that never heal. Obviously, Arnold's grandma is a better role model than Timmy's dad.
Strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually a Satan spawn. He's very, very strategically minded. I hate Charlie Kirk. I think he's actually...
Right. Charlie Kirk is a Satan spawn, according to... And somehow CNN...
And of course CNN platforms it.
Showed that. Absolutely, CNN showed this tolerance. I am sure that the left is going to be packed of new people moving from the center, thinking, man, you know what? This is what I really want. You convinced me now that you... Yeah, this is exactly... Absolutely.
I will never lean towards one side or the other. Both sides can leave me alone.
12th of September. And what he has to say about it, make a joke and change it into was. That's why you...
Was.
These people are the enemy of the left before being the enemy of the right.
Right.
They are the reason.
No, the people have made this point before that nobody hurts the, what was it? Nobody hurts the cause of certain people groups more than either members within that group or people outside of the group that think that they can speak on their behalf. And the fact that we have Destiny and Hassan trying to speak on behalf of the left as if it represents the left in its entirety, obviously nobody's going to want to... A lot of people don't want anything to do with what they have to say.
And so many centrists are turning right-wing. And they're the reason why so many moderate lefties are turning centrist. Prove me wrong. Now, of course, he made more...
Yeah, I can imagine. No, freaking No, I honestly feel bad for Biden, knowing that he apparently had, what was it, some form of cancer all this time, yet he had to say that he was in good shape, knowing that he had to, like... No, I honestly feel bad for Biden being puppeteered around by the shadow government, as some people like to call it, but... No, I was just reminded of a statement that Biden made about whether or not Russia would ever invade Ukraine, where Biden was all like, if they made a small incursion, that'd be one thing. And of course, that thing that Biden said was what seemed to have given Russia the green light to invade.
Videos about it. Let's have a look. Is he being at least basically decent? Not asking for him to like Charlie Kirk. That would be a lie, clearly. So I appreciate honesty. But what is he saying?
Yeah, you have good... Yeah, regarding more about what you just said, Jackal, there's people on both sides that are decent people that just want what's best for other people. But obviously we have people like Hassan and Destiny that only want their side to feel justified and that the other side can just disappear.
Being decent? Decent and Destiny are two Ds you will never see together.
Don't apologize for his... Of course. Why would Destiny ever want to say something decent?
Anywhere. He says, don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death. You gotta be joking. His body was still warm and his wife is still grieving, and this is what he does. And by the way, he was mocking his wife as well, as she was like...
There were a lot of people mocking his wife. There are people that are calling for the death of his family as well. No, I was listening to More Pegasus's most recent upload and hearing some of the frickin' TikTok white bitches, as I like to call them, the so-called septum theorists, we'll call them septum theorists, who are laughing and applauding the death of Charlie Kirk and wishing for the death of his family and all the other people that are around him. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, no thoughts. They don't deserve a thought.
Like kneeling in front of the casket crying, and he was mocking her. This guy is vile. This guy is anything and everything he accuses the opposite side to be. So whenever this guy sees someone vile on the other side, which of course exists, vile people exist everywhere. There are vile people in my religion, Christianity. That doesn't make...
Exactly. No, Metatron is a devout Christian, but he's also very moderate. And he sees through a lot of the bullshit that some Christians try to propagate within. Like, if anyone knows about like prosperity gospel with mega churches making all sorts of money, saying that you gotta tithe and give all your money, and it's like, and you have all of these mega rich pastors with these multi-million dollar mansions and stuff, and it's like, how exactly is this supposed to give people faith, right?
Christianity wrong. It just makes the people who are within Christianity that happen to be vile.
Oh, and this just reminded me of a quote in King of the Hill where Bobby joins a Christian rock band, and when Hank went to confront the Pastor K, Hank was all like, you're not... Sorry. You're not making Christianity any better. You're just making rock and roll worse. And that just reminded me of that. Yeah, it's all absurd.
And this is what people like him are doing. They take the full group and they apply the worst rhetoric from a single bad apple onto the entire group, and then they say they're call to actions for violence. This is the difference. This is an important aspect that needs to be underlined. Do not take bad apples and apply them to everyone.
Exactly. That is actually a fallacy, right? Metatron, in some of his videos, he will often, when he's like debunking certain like the political rewriting of history, he'll often point out the logical fallacies that other people use, and what he's describing now is a fallacy that's being used. I don't remember the name of this fallacy. It's where you assume that because part of a whole is a certain way, it means that the whole thing is that way. The go-to example is to say that because a car's tires are made of rubber, that you just assume the whole car is made of rubber. And just because, a more practical example being that just because we have, the right has people like Nick Fuentes and Candace Owens, that doesn't mean that every right-winger is exactly like Nick Fuentes or Candace. And similarly, not everyone on the left is like Destiny or Hassan. You've got decent people like Shoe on Head and all the likes, and obviously you can't just assume the worst in everybody. You really can't.
The bad apples and hold them accountable. But he says, don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death. Excuse me, what? First of all, who's asking to apologize? Look at the mental manipulation there. No one is asking someone who didn't do anything to apologize. However...
Yeah, just like, I don't, like, after I learned about, hello there, welcome to the stream. After I learned about Charlie Kirk's passing, I was like, wait, what happened? And I was like, god damn. But obviously... I don't care what they tell you in school, Jackal. Genghis Khan was an Australian Aboriginal. But yeah, it's like, oh, thank you for following. MJHBHBF. I don't know what that stands for. Apologies if I said that wrong. But going back to what I was saying, I actually don't remember what I was saying.
If there is someone like you who has been constantly pushing for violence.
Oh yeah, I was mentioning the fallacy that was brought up here. Now, granted, pointing out fallacies to debunk an argument in and of itself is a fallacy, so I don't want to have to do that. I'm sure Metatron is aware of this, so he tries to do it, like, sparingly, I guess. I'm not sure.
Violence onto people you disagree with, yes, you should apologize, but you won't because you wanted this. He said it. He stated it. He said this is what he wanted. This is.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I reread the title of Destiny's video here, and I remembered that I don't particularly feel that bad for Charlie Kirk's passing. Not because I hate him. I don't have any. I don't have a formal opinion on him. I never listened to any of his debates. I never listened to any of his like rhetoric or anything like that, so I don't really have an opinion on him, so naturally I wouldn't, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to feel bad for the people that have to suffer because of what that shooter did. Obviously, killing people for no reason is bad. Can we all just agree with that? If they're not trying to kill you, then there's no reason for you to do that to them.
America he wants to live in, an America where people cannot freely express their ideas without the fear of being gunned down like animals.
That's how it was for like a long time. Hello, Knob 1A. That's how it was for a long time, where you have like Twitter and a lot of other social media sites will like actively censor anyone who's even like slightly on the right. You could be center left and have at least a few right-leaning positions, and then you would be ostracized as being part of the Austrian painter fan club. And it's like, Shoe on Head is a very good example of this, and she's a self-proclaimed leftist socialist, so you can understand that she's likely had to deal with that kind of stuff more often than she cares to even count.
This is the America he wants, which is why he's now doubling down and saying, don't apologize. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me my analysis is incorrect.
This sounds like a bad thing to say. This sounds like a bad thing to say, and people don't like to think of it this way, but
it is a bad thing to say.
The reality is, there are like 4 different worlds that we can live in, and it relates to like this concept of like a prisoner's dilemma. In the prisoner's dilemma, I think a lot of people talk about this. I don't know how many people are aware of how it actually works, but for prisoner's dilemma, the issue with it is
who speaks faster, XQC or Destiny?
Don't compare Destiny to XQC.
Enunciation. If you want, I can give you some diction lessons, Destiny.
Diction lessons, yeah. This, no. Metatron is a native Italian speaker and had to learn English later on in life, but he's very, very fluent in English.
So, after all, a professional language teacher. You need
to that's right, yeah. He has a degree in linguistics.
Learn to enunciate.
He taught English in Japan.
Paradoxical setup kind of where there is a positive outcome for 2 different players. However, both players basically become incentivized using logic to take the worst outcome, basically, for collectively. So you have 2 different people who are caught, and the 2 people who are caught are being interrogated by the police. And then the question is do you cooperate with the police and rat out your friend, or do you not cooperate with the police? I shouldn't be using cooperate, or do you not work with the police and then you cooperate with your friend? So that's supposed to be phrased, right? Okay, we'll say prisoner 1 cooperates.
Okay, I don't care about this.
No shit.
Also because then people tell me I use word salads.
Is a worse world than this one here. We're just pretending that it is. The violence to each other. Civility.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where we kind of want to be,
yes.
right?
Right. We all want to be at peace. I'm pretty sure most people just want to live in peace and harmony. But obviously there are people like Destiny who don't actually want that. They only want peace if it's their side that gets peace.
Oh, well, you don't. We do.
Yes.
You want violence on the streets.
Yes.
So no.
Exactly.
You
Metatron.
don't want civility. Don't put we. You and I are not the same.
Here, where things are civil. All right. Meaning we're not killing each other.
Right.
Or having a bad time and acting violence to each other.
That's the guy who wants to kill other people.
This would be like ideal. This is a good world. Okay. Right now, at best, we're in this world. Okay.
Which you created.
Nobody wants to say
freaking the casual remark.
This, but the problem is that this here is not the worst world. We're just pretending that it is. Okay.
Of course.
The reason why it doesn't make sense for Democrats to disavow over and over and over again when Republicans won't do it is because there is a worse world for this. And the worst world is...
I would like to underline, not to interrupt him too much, but I would like to underline.
No, don't worry. Interrupt him all you want.
Did you see what he's doing? Democrats are disavowing, so the whole group are saying violence bad, but Republicans are not doing that.
Really? Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. Even though a lot of Republicans are just mourning his loss. They're mourning the loss of Charlie Kirk, but apparently that's considered violent.
Did you not see the wave of Democrats and liberals that had been specifically laughing and giggling for Charlie Kirk's death?
That too. No, I just I mentioned More Pegasus's video where he showed a bunch of examples of, white septum bitches praising his death and wanting the death of his family.
And I found some TikTokers who specifically
It looks like Metatron is going to point him out.
Asked as a call to action, now go and do Charlie's children and wife. Is he out of his mind?
He's been out of his mind for a long time.
The reality is, because I'm the one who tells it, this is a political manipulator. I tell it how it is. The reality is that there are some people that condemn violence, usually the overwhelming majority, and then there are people who want violence. However, what happened in the wake of...
is that they want violence if it's in the name of their side.
Charlie Kirk's assassination and the aftermath, you are probably a liberal and you're watching this and you're saying, no, I don't want that. I don't want violence. I'm against violence. I didn't like Charlie Kirk, but I'm against violence. Great. I never said all liberals. He's the one who speaks in full groups. I don't. I'm saying there is a certain number of people that are specifically celebrating, laughing, giggling, and that is causing a strong reaction on the right. Now, are there some people...
I wonder how Metatron feels about septum theory.
People on the right that are pushing it too far. Yes, if someone on the right says, now we need to retaliate off Destiny, it's wrong. And I will call it out. That's not the way to do it. But let's not pretend...
No, the thing is, if this were someone on the left that got shot, obviously the media would be at an uproar.
And that the same level of laughing and giggling happened when the Democratic senators were offed. I didn't see these thousands and thousands of conservatives, particularly kids, going around saying, we got this person in the neck, we got this person in the neck. I didn't see that. I didn't see that. And if there were some, which is why it is absolutely abhorrent that now he's going to pretend...
Sorry, reading this message... that worked up over from the night. Damn.
As if all liberals want no violence, but all Republicans never say that. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. This is why centrists turn right.
I'll call it genocide. I mean, you can put whatever you want here. Genocide, absolute violence.
And the buzzword. When all else fails, it's a cenogide.
One-sided firing squad, whatever, execution.
Right.
There is a worse world than this one here.
We all know that.
And that worse world is one side enacting violence.
Of course.
Your side.
And the problem is that the Republican rhetoric is pushing us in that direction. Where the Republicans want to push us...
No. It's your rhetoric that's doing it.
Here, right? Where it's a Dem utter loss. And they do that by already trying to say that we are here, right? You've heard the Republicans say over and over again, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence. And they do...
Because it's the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. But at the same time, the truth can set you free. And this is something that I've come to terms with a long time ago.
That is a call to their own side, that they need to respond with violence.
And the way to prove them wrong, if that's what you want to do, is to condemn the shooting of the children, the Christian children, by the way, that were killed by someone who clearly wasn't a Republican. I think it's obvious. And then also this Charlie Kirk's assassination. You do not have the moral ground if you laugh. It's one of the two. You got to choose. I would...
Oh my God, this reminded me of some conversations that I've had with certain friends that happen to be like overtly left-leaning. Oh my God, I want to lash out at them so bad. But I know for a fact that the moment that I do, they're going to want to beat the shit out of me. I can almost guarantee it.
Have respected Democrats if they had said, and I do respect those Democrats that have been condemning this, but a lot of you guys are laughing about it, so you lose the moral ground. Be angry at those people on your side that are laughing about this. You included. You laughed. You said you were going to make fun of the firefighter. You were the one who pushed the people in your audience to now go around and laugh. So you lost the moral ground. You want to regain it? Condemn the violence, but don't make a video saying don't apologize for Charlie Kirk's death.
So the reason why I'm not sympathetic to people saying we need to turn down the temperature, well, look, just because the other side isn't doing it doesn't mean we can't. No, we're not in the worst world right now. This world, right, which is this part of the prisoner's dilemma box, this world is preferable right here to this world.
Then I kind of wish we didn't skip that part.
See what he's doing? Once again, mental manipulation. It's as clear as day. He's giving you an answer that is correct. Yes, the world with violence is preferable to the world with genocide. That's correct, but it's unrelated. That's what he does. So he says something, and you listen to it, and you're like, well, yeah, I agree with that. But it has nothing to do with, oh, that's why we shouldn't call for stopping violence or lowering temperature. Do you see how unrelated the two things are? And he's doing it on purpose. He's saying what he wants to say, which is the message. Don't tone down the violence. That's what he's saying. And then, because people who are decent, left or right or center, are going to be like, well, no, we should tone down the violence. What are you on about? And then he's going to say, but no, because it's preferable to have this world over this one, isn't it?
Okay, I see. No, at first I was like, wait, what is the connection that Destiny is trying to make? And Metatron is trying his hardest to actually explain what the connection is, and it still doesn't make any sense.
And then people are going to be like, yeah, I mean, sure, it is preferable. No, civility is preferable, you liar.
Yes.
For this world, right? And the one-sided calls for just us, we just need to disavow. No, I'm sorry. The President of the United States, without having any idea at all who the actual shooter is, has already blamed one side.
Because there was a bullet which said, catch this fascist. Which is the side that calls the other fascist? As someone who receives that insult constantly, be real, Destiny.
Yeah, Metatron is always under attack for being in the center. Like, he'll get attacked by the left for trying to tell the truth about history as it is, regardless of its political rewriting. But he also gets attacked by the right from time to time for daring to suggest that Alexander the Great had male lovers.
Be honest. Once again, I'm honest on my end. I'm not saying all Democrats do this. I'm not saying all liberals are like this. I've seen a lot in my comments that say I'm left-wing, but it's horrible. I didn't like what Charlie Kirk said, but this is unbelievable, and I strongly... Great. That's a good lefty. Definitely from you. You instead demonize...
Always give credit where credit is due, regardless of who you are, where you came from, or what you believe. As long as you're just a decent person, and you're not trying to hurt anyone, obviously, people will be able to cut you some slack.
The entirety of the other side, and then add calls to violence. This is the difference between me and him.
Mm-hmm. And me and him.
If you appreciate my content so far...
Alright, well then, that's for that first video. We got another video by Metatron over here about some people that were fired for endorsing the assassination, which obviously... no, in the last stream... someone mentioned it was mentioned in the video that one of the guys that worked on the game, Ghost of Yote, apparently laughed about his assassination, and now Metatron is actively boycotting the game. And I also remember someone in chat mentioning that there's a dead Charlie Kirk doll that exists, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like hell, we're ever going to be supporting something as vile as that. But let's go ahead and check this out real quick.
Charlie Kirk's assassination, we have seen a return of a very controversial topic and word.
And of course it does that.
Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. It's only a matter of time before I get canceled for my takes, and it's gonna be glorious.
The phenomenon cancel culture is something that, in order to be explained correctly, requires a certain level of specification, as it's a multi-layered and multifaceted phenomenon. On one hand, cancel culture could be considered as a widespread withdrawal of support of a public figure or company due to something that they said or done that is considered objectionable, in a way similar to what we call boycotts. Personally, I have no problems with that idea because at the end of the day, it is your right to decide if you want to support a company or a person that hates everything you believe in, you stand for and fight for. For gaming companies, for example, that have been laughing and giggling at Charlie Kirk's assassination. On the other hand,
no, I'm very curious to know exactly which ones are actually celebrating. I remember Stephen King was brought up, but apparently Stephen King is known for those kinds of things.
Cancel culture sometimes can reach further into the depth of one's social sphere. People can use cancel culture in order to get someone fired, and in the extreme cases, for doxing and even for hurting physically an individual.
Or
due to the fact that multiple aspects of cancel culture should be discussed, we will address all of them in order to be complete, thorough, and specific. As we move and browse through X in the last few days, an exercise that does require a certain level of cognitive energy.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't want to make a Twitter. I might have to make a Twitter for the sake of promoting my channels, but that'll probably be it. Although, I am tempted to want to shitpost a little bit, just to ruffle some feathers.
Not gonna lie, you will run into people that are trying to get someone else cancelled. On one hand, you have people who are very happy with Charlie Kirk's demise, who are now trying to get decent people, like me and you, cancelled. I heard that there are lists of people that are trying to write down TikTok accounts, YouTube names of creators that, like me, have spoken against this unforeseeable wickedness.
Oh. Am I gonna be on the list? I better be on the list if it brings attention to my channel. I know they say and all publicity is good publicity, but at the same time, I don't know. I might have to be careful.
Those I say, make sure you do write my name. Write it down in indelible ink.
Yep. Do the same with me if you got to. I mean, I'm I'm just some little raccoon bitch on the backwaters of the internet. So, but it is only a matter of time before I get noticed.
But what about those people that instead are trying to get those who are laughing and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death cancelled? I want to first begin with this. You have
Like hell they're ever going to get quote-unquote canceled.
someone who films
They are the cancel culture mob.
themselves and posts the video on social media. And let's say that on said video they call for more violence towards Charlie's family, for instance, or they giggle, they laugh, they chant, they celebrate, they rejoice of his death.
The irony is that they're supposed to be on the side that's supposed to be anti-gun and like pro-gun control. Yet when it's being used in this context, suddenly it's okay.
I've seen plenty of people saying, we don't care, you did it to us, so now we're going to cancel you. We're going to do cancel culture on you. But here's the reality. It isn't cancel culture. It's a perfectly legitimate action to take. Let me elaborate and justify it with reason and logic. When someone posts a video online...
Well, reason and logic don't really work with these people.
...publicly, and you amplify that visibility by showing their own video to call them out, it's not cancel culture. I never went to look for private messages or private and personal information. When someone makes a video to laugh at Charlie Kirk's death and they post it, it means they want people to see it publicly. If it's public, it's fair game. If, due to me, or you, or any of us amplifying that reach, this video gets them a lot of hate, tough luck. It's the nature of online interaction. After all, if they wanted only praises, they should have sent it as a PM to their little diabolical friends. If due to me, or you, or any of us amplifying that reach, the video gets watched by their employer, and said employer decides, in their own freedom, that they don't want to have anything to do with people like this in their work.
Oh, this reminded me of, what was this? Someone tried to print some flyers, for a vigil for Charlie Kirk, and it was at Office Max, I think, and one of the employees there was all like, oh, we don't print propaganda pieces, and we're like, it's a vigil, it's a memorial, how is it propaganda in any way? Yet apparently this same store also printed some No Kings flyers, which for some reason isn't propaganda, which shows you that, here's the thing, propaganda is propaganda regardless of which side of the spectrum that it's on. You'll have there's this one YouTuber, I'm not gonna say who it is, who's constantly calling out right-wing propaganda, yet they have absolutely no problem shilling left-wing propaganda as if it's somehow any different or any better, even though they're both equally problematic. Hello. I still don't know how to say that name, but they're both equally problematic. So, but of course, they don't see it that way. They view their own side as the truth, and the other side as evil. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. I'm having a little too much fun, maybe.
Workforce, I'd say that's a fair outcome. If anything, I'm doing the employer a favor. It is their right to choose what type of person they will have in their workspace. In some cases, due to the fact that these lunatics are in fact violent, they get dangerous, and it becomes our imperative to make it known. Let me show you an example. Here is an example of what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've seen this. Oh god, I don't want to see this again.
Check this out.
So I keep on seeing like posts about this Charlie dude, whatever, Kirk dude, whatever. Regardless. And let me just say this. I'm surprised that y'all didn't get rid of him sooner. And I'm surprised that you guys aren't getting rid of more people. Like,
this bitch.
Don't stop with him. Don't let him be the end dog. Get rid of them all. And the ones that are above him. Your mayor. Your city councilman. What is it? Georgia Power? The people that keep on raising our shit? The CEO. Get rid of them. Yeah. Like, what? It was so crazy. I watched like a 60-minute, whatever. Y'all know what I mean. 1 minute.
No, I don't know what you mean. Please elaborate, because it'll ensure to me that you have a functioning brain.
Edit.
Yes, 1 minute to 60 seconds.
Exactly.
Like the things he said, and they're like so atrocious that like his wife deserves to go too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids. They need to go too because they're carrying on that mentality and that lineage. Like,
I'm gonna stop it right there.
Good. Thank you so much, Metatron. I didn't want to listen to the rest of this bitch's spiel. This bitch is the reason why there aren't any black female characters on the Boondocks that are regular characters. No, I remember listening to some commentary by the creators of Boondocks about why there are no like black female characters in the show that are more like recurring. And this bitch is probably one of the reasons why. She makes all black women look bad, even though there are plenty of black women that are decent people.
Okay. She pushed for Charlie's wife and children to be next. Children. Because they have a hateful mentality. This is what radical politics does. No self-awareness. No decency. No humanity.
They're demons. Shayatin, as they're known in Arabic.
I've already offered this video to the FBI.
I think I said that wrong.
Myself. So is it cancel culture?
Did he actually send this to the FBI? Damn.
No, it is our duty. Because someone who says something like this could be the next shooter.
Mad respect. I mean, I already have a lot of respect for Metatron, but damn, he putting up the good fight.
These people need to be called out, but do not engage in violence. Never engage in violence against them. We do not become them. You are better than them. Let the authorities look into it. Let them lose their jobs. Let them lose their friends. Let them lose connections with their family, most likely.
No, in the event that I finally snap at some of my more left-wing friends and they decide to excommunicate me, good riddance. If they're going to be like that about it and not actually respect me for who I am and what I believe, then good riddance.
Because of what they're saying. And if there are legal repercussions.
And the same thing applies to any right-wing friends. Your parents said that? Well, at least your parents are in the know.
So be it. But don't try and find these people and attack them physically. This is not what we do. Now, this is, of course, for the direct calls for violence. They need to be reported to the correct authorities. You see, cancel culture occurs and is wrong when someone is being cancelled because they believe something. Do I agree with cancelling people who say, hey, I don't like Charlie Kirk. I didn't like him. I didn't agree with anything he said, but what happened to his family is horrible. No. Is that belief?
You shouldn't have to. That's a fairly reasonable take. Like I've said earlier in the stream that I don't have a formal opinion on Charlie. I do know a few of the things he said. The only debate that I remember listening to was regarding Judaism's view of Jesus, especially with regards to the Talmud, although that requires a lot more context.
It's fine. They're not doing anything wrong. It would be unfair cancel culture if I was trying to get them cancelled and lose their job simply because we had a different position on political or religious matters or societal matters. That's the wrong cancel culture. And that's the cancel culture that we have had to deal with for years.
Yep. Yeah. We've been dealing with since at least the mid-2010s. And obviously when Elon Musk bought Twitter, it became, I don't know, it got better in some ways and it got worse in others. You just kind of have to roll with the punches.
Being cancelled because we did calls to actions for violence. I never did it in my life and never will. We have been cancelled for wrong thing. That's the type of cancel culture we do not engage in. What we are doing is
committing thought crime. Excuse me. Damn. Committing thought crimes. Sorry about that.
Is not cancel culture. Now, what about the other situations? For example, I just stated that, yes, people who call for violence should absolutely be called out. I prefer. People who simply disagree or have different opinions than us, but they're not doing anything like that. Should they be cancelled? No. But what about the others? What about the ones that are not calling for violence, but they're giggling, laughing, drawing little cartoons of, for instance, Charlie Kirk's throat?
Oh yeah, someone in chat mentioned that the other night, and when I read that, I was like, oh, hell no.
Loading with blood and laugh at when his wife is kneeling in front of his coffin.
Fuck that shit. Nobody is going to be... No one in Kick or YouTube chat better be showing me any of those things.
What about these people? I say call them out too, because once again, while they may not be doing direct calls to violence, so technically what they're doing is not illegal, it is still highly immoral, and the world has a right to know their faces. After all, they make it public, and public is fair game. And it is crucial to keep that word in mind as we discuss this and navigate this situation. Public. So this database has been informed, database of people making fun of Charlie Kirk goes live.
Oh shit. Wait, is this on Metatron's? Oh my god, he did the freaking deep dive.
This was shared by this account and he says we have received nearly 20,000 submissions. Man, if that's...
Oh, is this a different... He retweeted it, at least.
It's not an outrage. This website will soon be converted into a searchable database of all 20,000 submissions, filterable by general...
20,000 submissions. Oh my god. No. You want to know what's going to happen? The FBI is going to come by each and every single one of their houses, and then they're going to cry, oh, fascism, you're being fascist against us, you're sending us to concentration camps. No, we're not. We're sending you to prison, because you guys are awful people who deserve to be locked up.
And job industry, this is a permanent and continuously updating archive of radical activists calling for violence. This is the largest fighting operation in history. So, due to the fact that the way they are describing it is specifically for radical activists calling for violence, I'm not opposed to it. I am personally against showing people's home addresses. I think that's wrong and we shouldn't do it.
Right.
In a lot of states in the United
No, Son Piker is not above doing that kind of shit.
States here is illegal, but there are some states where technically doxing is not illegal as long as the information is found, I believe, through public channels. With that being said, even if it may be technically legal, What are the intentions of you, for instance, doxing an individual who makes videos like this? If you show where they live, your intention is that you most likely want someone to go there and take matters into their own hands, and that is illegal. Which is why I'm against the idea of doxing people in any shape or form. What I am not against, however, is the idea that radical activists calling for violence are called out, shown on screen, and reported to the appropriate authorities to be looked into. And that is, in my opinion, the important line of difference that we need to not cross.
Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears has called for the Dean of Students of Chesterfield County Public Schools to be fired for saying, quote, "Charlie Kirk, you reap what you sow."
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
Republican candidate for governor saying, "This vile, heartless remark is completely unacceptable, especially from someone entrusted with our children." Also in Virginia, a realtor posted, "The world is a better place with less Trump supporters, period."
She gonna be losing her job right quick.
She was swiftly fired from not one, but 2 jobs.
Oh,
Dustin
shit.
Fox of Fox Homes Teens writing, "Today, we ended a team member's affiliation with our team. We condemn political violence. We expect everyone who markets under our brand to treat all people with dignity and to serve every client equally, regardless of political views."
I wonder how that one Office Max employee is going to fare.
Samsung Properties wrote, "A realtor affiliated with S&P made a social media post that condoned the assassination of Charlie Kirk. At Samsung Properties, we firmly believe in free speech and the respectful exchange of ideas across the political spectrum. However, we cannot and will not condone or tolerate the promotion of violence in any form against any person."
Yeah, the promotion and incitement of violence of any form is not protected by free speech, and neither is libel and slander.
Then there's one teacher in Florida saying, "This is not the obituary she was hoping for, but it's a close second." Florida State Senator Jennifer Bradley announcing, "This teacher has been immediately suspended. An investigation will follow. This type of hate has no place in our schools and around our children."
At least people are they're waking up to what's going on, and it's the good kind of waking up.
There were actually so many teachers in Florida celebrating Kirk's death, the Commissioner of Education had to release a letter saying he's conducting an investigation into every educator who made despicable comments on social media regarding the horrific assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Oh, everybody's taking this seriously, damn.
Found out a Greenville teacher said, "America became greater today. Due to Kirk's death, the Republican called the superintendent, calling for the teacher to be fired. Less than 2 hours later, she updates on X the teacher has been placed on leave and writes in the comments she agrees with people who says he needs to be fired." Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert wrote, "I'm utterly heartbroken and disgusted when she learned suicide prevention coordinator for Colorado Department of Health described Kirk as a pro-violence dude and a white man who spews horrible stuff."
It's fair game.
Fair game. If you're gonna talk shit about other people, be prepared to have shit talked about you.
You made it public. If you appreciate my content...
Alright, well that's it for those Metatron videos. I might compile those both into a single standalone video, but we do have 2 more videos that I wanted to check out. Let me check the stream, make sure everyone is doing alright. Alright. Yeah, this next video that I have on the lineup is by Decoy Voice. I think More Pegasus clipped this video. It was about a whole lot of stuff that seems to be about people mourning Charlie Kirk all over the world. So it'll be interesting. I might not make this into a standalone video. The first Decoy Voice video that I uploaded got over 1,000 views and like 15 likes or so. The next one I uploaded didn't get as many views, but still got a good amount of likes. And then the third one bombed horribly. So I might not make this into a standalone video. This can just be a stream exclusive reaction. So gives you a motivation to want to watch the VODs, doesn't it? But for now, let's go ahead. I just kind of want to get all of these over with, and then we have one more video to watch, and then we can look at that, we can wind down with something a little more wholesome. The Jackal mentioned the impossible Chinese typewriter, so I think it would only be fitting that we end on a positive high note. So let's go ahead and see what Decoy Voice has to say on these matters.
Charlie Kirk is starting a revolution all across America, but I had no idea.
Well, apparently they're all gonna do that.
Yeah, he'd have such an impact in the UK, all the way down to marches in Australia and back up to movements in South Korea.
No, the fact that South Korea, of all places, is mourning Charlie is very interesting. I mean, apparently over 50% of South Korea's population is Christian, outnumbering even Buddhists, but, you know.
Where ironically, this reminds me of those recent riots in France 4 days ago, where the far left burned a Korean restaurant in protest
Well, this is my first time hearing about that.
Of French leadership, as these concurrent protests just highlight the key differences between the left and the right. As reportedly, this TikTok was a...
No, it's sad. It's sad, but it's true. It's like people, the far left accuses the right as a whole of being the party of violence, even though at least in recent years, it's become the other way around.
About Charlie.
The best part of this whole thing is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing.
His death means nothing. No, I heard this on my way home from Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals. It was in the More Pegasus video that I mentioned earlier in the stream. I listened to this and I was like, really? You think this means nothing, yet you have millions of people all over the world mourning his death, and she wants to make believe that it means nothing? Fuck these bitches.
It will activate no one. It will impact few.
Few.
It's just great.
Completely oblivious to the vigils hitting college campuses, with huge crowds even in New York City, as NASCAR races paid their respects. But also MLB games, as the New York Yankees had a moment of silence, alongside the NFL also honoring his life. But then, we started seeing Spain paying their respects. Watchers all the way in Australia holding up signs for Charlie, with South Korean citizens singing, "We are Charlie Kirk."
Well, the fact that South Korea is joining in on it is just surreal to me.
Where we all knew the assassination of Charlie Kirk was going to ignite American conservatives and moderates, but nobody could have imagined he would become the face of freedom for the entire planet. As at the UK's...
it's surreal as all hell. We are living in the most bizarre timeline that can ever be imagined. As they say, the truth is stranger than fiction.
Unite the Kingdom March, which was reported as 110,000 people, but was more likely millions.
This is the counter-revolution. There's been a globalist revolution for 20 years. We are the counter-revolution. It's not...
Oh yeah, this was the clip that I think More Pegasus shared on his video. Showed.
Carrying posters of not only Charlie Kirk, but his entire family, as they all rallied behind his memory.
To Charlie's family, we all pray for you, and we hope we honour his life.
Silence speaks volumes, as they say.
So, of course, the left tried to make this about the spooky far-right.
What you're seeing here is probably the biggest far-right demonstration ever held in...
Oh, it's the biggest... This is the biggest British man that has ever existed. Shut up.
And I've been among this crowd. I think it's obvious that many of the people here are wearing our flag as a badge of their own white identity and as a mark of hatred of our multicultural, multinational society.
But who...
Shut up, bitch.
Knew the UK's far-right was so diverse.
Dude, even Japanese, huh?
This is for you. We love you. We stand with you. We will always have your back, and we love your husband, Charlie.
I have to come and support the event, uniting the whole country, bringing...
Oh, even there are plenty of black individuals that are also in support, including, I keep bringing up More Pegasus, but More Pegasus showed a clip about a black gay man who was also a fan of Charlie Kirk, even though Charlie Kirk is, you know, I don't want to have to say it out loud, but... yet a lot of people on the far left want to make believe that no colored gay person would ever support Charlie Kirk, and that if they did, that would make them an Uncle Tom.
Everybody together, bringing the four nations together. That's why I dress up and then come and support. I'll be integrated, so I have to respect the culture.
And notice,
damn, respect.
How nobody was shouting down any of those very diverse conservatives, as they're all embracing Western culture and rejecting liberal tyranny. But nothing scares a political elite more than when the common man bands together against the ruling class. So they immediately went back to their same old tired playbook of protesters.
This is oh, I remember this. No, I remember people during like some of the older protests and riots that were taking place in like California and stuff. There are apparently people that just mass-produced a lot of these like signs and stuff, and people mass-producing like flyers and stuff as if this was as if it was intentionally organized. People tend to point to George Soros among other people, which I'm honestly inclined to believe at this point. Like I said, the truth is stranger than fiction.
Mysteriously get these signs left behind by these mysterious figures, who they later discovered are funded by none other than their own tax dollars.
Yep, the people, not to point the fingers, but cough, USAID, cough, and other things of that nature.
Kinda interesting how the same exact thing was happening in the US until the Trump administration started tracing who was funding these riots, and they
Oh, I think I reacted to that video when it first came out.
Evaporated overnight. So of course, to offset millions of angry Englishmen, masked Antifa and Black Bloc had to make an appearance, chanting disgusting phrases.
This is for all the people that want to be here on our side.
Where their coppers initially admitted the problem areas weren't with the Unite the Kingdom marchers, but the Antifa idiots. To which the Met Police marched them right into each other, just so they could later state there was significant aggression directed at officers by the Unite the Kingdom protesters, but also turning off the replies.
When you have to turn off the replies, you know that you done fucked up.
As the mainstream media rushed to echo those sentiments, stating far-right activists with clashes breaking out.
Marching through the streets of London, one of the largest right-wing demonstrations to take place in the UK in modern times. Organized by the far-right anti-immigration activists. Far-right
anti-immigration. They never just say right-wing. They always say they accuse. No, even people within the middle, the center-left, are often accused of being far-right.
Tommy Robinson, close by, a much smaller counter-protest organized by anti-racism activists.
I'm just really against racism.
So close at one
I'm against bitchism. How do you like that, bitch?
point that right-wing marchers began throwing things at them and pushing police. London's Metropolitan Police said a number of its officers were assaulted by the right-wing demonstrators, Dorica, and that 25 people were arrested.
It really seems like every single time they start to lose control, they revert back to the same exact plays. As in this enormous march across the UK, I didn't see a single incident of property damage, compared to neighboring France that had their own riots 4 days earlier, as it initially started with the French angry at their political leadership. But then, women carrying French flags were being attacked by those not. With the
oh my god, no, this just reminded me if anyone keeps up with like Yu-Gi-Oh Worlds took place in Paris not too long ago, and the president of France decided to make an appearance there, which he's so busy freaking the president of France was at promoting the Yu-Gi-Oh event. Apparently that's more important than anything else.
Lock everything protests beginning to build barricades in the street, making makeshift roadblocks to stop traffic. And then burning buses to stop the streets, as sadly, that wasn't the only place they used fire on the freeways, as they specifically burned a Korean restaurant, later attacking the responding French police with trash cans.
Why exactly were they attacking a Korean restaurant?
But the mainstream media didn't seem to cover it like the Unite the Kingdom rally, where they seemed to make it more about pressure on the government and how it started online in far-right circles, but now happens to have left-wing groups. So when the left burns down entire sections of the city, they're protesters in Paris. But if the entire community marches against the establishment, that's the far-right clashing with the police. But
the double standards are impressive, are they not?
They only classify you as far-right, so they can later call you a fascist. As they simultaneously encourage psychos online, they need to eliminate these evil fascists. But now, normal people no longer fear being called a fascist.
Nope. No, and here I am. I can't... I semi-ironically can't wait for people to start calling me that, simply because I refuse to give in to one side or the other.
They just murdered Charlie Kirk over allegedly being one, when all he was doing was having conversations and spreading the truth. And the more the left goes into overdrive trying to silence anybody that notices, the more the average citizen is finally saying no to their political violence. So as the calls for political violence have only amplified, people are now losing their jobs in neurology at universities.
Even neurologists are losing their jobs. No, you study the brain, yet it seems that you're not using your brain to its fullest potential yourself.
Microsoft is combing through their ranks to do the same, and even American Airlines is firing pilots who think it's okay to celebrate murder, as we're seeing a turning point not only in the US, with Americans making it their mission to dish out consequences, but now conservatives worldwide are rallying behind Charlie, as the left didn't even think he'd be seen as a martyr, but now Charlie's known globally as the face of finally fighting back. So if you appreciate—
Wow, that— submit to— No. To quote, the Tom Sawyer by Rush, and though his mind is not for rent to any god or government, always hope for your discontent. These changes aren't permanent, but change is.
my concise, sometimes lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality. Subscribe to Decoy.
All right, well then, yeah. Apologies for having to tackle such heavy subjects on stream, but this is the kind of stuff that I've been meaning to cover on stream in all of my streams. I know I want us to have fun and all of that, but sometimes I do want to get into the real meat and potatoes of all of this because I feel like that it's important. But we do have 2 more things that we can look at. So we have Musk and Bezos can end Hassan and Twitch. No, this one, I think we can view this as a little more lighthearted compared to some of the other things that we've been watching this whole time. Can we listen to music? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I know. Here, I do have, like, this, no, not this one. Here we go. Yeah, I still have the cue from the last time, although I don't remember the actual names of some of the songs that I wrote down. Like, we have these 2 that I think Jackal was the one that suggested. Maple Leaf Rag, Wall Street Rag. I do have a playlist if I can find it. Yeah, we could put the playlist on in the background while we watch that, if that's okay with you. I just really wanted to get some of this stuff out of the way, just so I could... Oh, we needed to react to this Ellen DeGeneres video. That would be insane. But here, we have this. Alright. Oh, if you have any requests, I can put them in the queue over here. But let's play this for a little bit, and then we can watch this at the same time. No, Legal Mindset is always a treat. I probably won't make this into a like, the plans that I have for, like, the streams and stuff. Yeah, go ahead and make your request real quick before we get started here. If anyone else has anything that they want to share, I can search up the songs and we can queue them up. Although I don't know how to change the order of the list. But let's see. Let me check the streaming session. We did have an uptick in viewers earlier, but Push Your Temper by Femtinal. Okay, I'll put that in the queue. No. Why does this sound like the Thomas the Tank Engine theme? Oh, hi, James Miller. Haven't been on since you got the model. Aw, thank you. I like it too. Special thanks to Trudevrc VRC for making it. Thank you for joining the stream. We just got done catching up on some videos pertaining to the hot topic political climate because I do unironically want to be I guess we can call it a news streamer. I don't mean to, like, have people feel down on all of that stuff. I do also want to look at some more lighthearted things, and we've got some songs. James, if you have any songs that you want to suggest, I'm gonna have them play in the background. This is what I will be doing from now on if anyone has, like, musical requests. But while this is playing in the background, I don't need that. Let's go ahead and check this out by Legal Mindset about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos attempting to end Hassan and Twitch. I do have something to say with regards to Twitch. There's a there's a major DDR tournament that's coming up next month. And it's one that I got kicked out of because TLDR, I'm not gay enough for them. Let's just put it that way. And so, I am hoping, and I know I really shouldn't be hoping for their downfall, but I'm hoping that Twitch gets shut down, or even just on notice before then, so that they'd have to find another way to stream the tournaments. yeah, I'm gonna be that salty about it, so yeah. But either way, I probably won't make this a standalone video, but I do genuinely want to check it out, while also having this music in the background. I see, Jackal.
Elon Musk is calling out Jeff Bezos to help end Hassan Piker and Twitch.
Oh,
it's
right.
coming to a head here in the post-Charlie Kirk world, and we're going to get into it on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is the fast facts version of the quickest and latest in legal news. If
I might have to move my avatar out of the way every now and then since he has these little PowerPoints.
Like this format, please like the video and leave a comment below on what you think. So we're going to get right into it with the presentation today. Of course, I've got
Elon
a PowerPoint
versus
for you.
Hassan, if you
now,
can see.
In this follow-up to the post-Charlie Kirk assassination, we've had many people calling for the removal of Hassan. Now, one of the big things that helped with this and really pushed this forward was a certain video by a certain tech tone here, which is a compilation he put together showing, saying, hey, Twitch is corrupt and needs immediate action. Twitch must ban Hassan.
Right.
Now, I cannot play that, or I'm not going to play it on the shorter version because I think it's going to trigger the algorithm with some of the words that are said. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is on YouTube. But
yeah, well, regarding some of the videos that I've been making, I've been like muting certain words to make sure that YouTube promotes my videos enough.
I've got a nice summary for you here of Hassan's statements. You can kind of read them for yourself here, saying,
yes.
and I'm just going to...
All of these statements. I know all of these statements, and this isn't even scratching the surface.
Sub it for a PC word, delete them, delete those MFers, delete these MFers in the street, let the street soak in their red capitalist blood. That is the direct quote there. Then you need to be...
You forgot in Minecraft. You have to do it in Minecraft specifically.
Gutting them. You need to be shanking these MFers and letting their intestines writhe on stage. And then he follows that with the, Hassan follows that in a different clip with slice them up. Yes, slice them and dice them. There is no way. There is no context. There is no later explanation. There's no in Minecraft you can add to that.
I just added it anyway. He's,
to make these comments okay, particularly when they are directed towards individuals, directed toward groups, directed towards specific people. These are calls to violence. These are wishing death, in fact, painful death on people for simply being your political opponents. It's completely unacceptable. And this line of...
Yeah, something that Legal Mindset has made clear multiple times is that he tries to remain as unbiased as he can and tries to look at both sides and see if, even with regards to Ethan Klein, Hassan accuses Legal Mindset of not only being a fake lawyer, which is slander, but Legal Mindset himself, just in his honest opinion, felt like within Ethan Klein's lawsuit against Casey Tron, Donems, and Frogan, that it's likely that he's going to win.
Thinking is very much what ended up radicalizing an individual to ultimately end up commit the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So this is exactly the sort of behavior that needs to be eliminated from the workplace, from the media.
Yeah, a whole bunch of companies and corporations and schools and universities are gutting employees for cheering on his death,
etc. This does not need to be out there. Once again, death threats and calls for direct violence and calls to violence or insurrection have never been protected speech. They've never been something that's out there and been okay. And in fact, if
this is something that I've reiterated more than once on my streams.
Somebody who is the political opposite of Hassan had said this, they would probably be behind bars. They would probably be investigated by the FBI. They'd probably be locked up. But for too long, we've allowed these comments to slip, and we've allowed these comments to go under the rug. And it's only now that we go back and review them and say, no, we need to stop this. We need to clean this up. That we're actually looking at it. And many people, myself included, have been calling for this for a while. No, actually, I hadn't seen the clip involving the red capitalist blood. That actually, I just saw that one in the compilation. I hadn't seen that one previously. So even I, who's had some interactions with Mr. Piker, did not know about that. That is very, very much not okay. And there's really nothing in terms of explanation or cope or whatever else that can make saying that to an audience of tens of thousands, ultimately millions on the rewatch and people commenting on it. There's nothing that makes that okay. And this is very much the reason why people are celebrating death and calling for more death, is because people like this, like Hassan and his followers, to be clear, because there are others that follow and make similarly crazy statements.
Yeah, you have all sorts of people within Hassan's chat that'll say the most unhinged stuff that you've ever heard. And yeah, no, his chat needs to be investigated.
These sort of statements are exactly why we're in the position we are today. And it's gotten the notice of Mr. Musk. Mr. Musk.
Hold on, give me one moment. I want to turn the volume down a little more. I just want to be able to focus on the video, and the music's kind of distracting me.
Tagging Jeff Bezos, as he knows that Jeff Bezos owns Amazon,
Right.
which is the parent.
No, there's a thing. They're both billionaires, and I'm pretty sure billionaires know each other very well. It's very, very likely that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos know each other personally.
Company of Twitch, saying, "What's up here, Jeff? What's going on, Jeff?" Now, mind you, Jeff is no longer the CEO of
Oh, he's not the CEO anymore? Well, this is the first time I've heard about that.
Amazon, but he is the largest shareholder and the executive chair of the board of directors.
Okay.
So he has a lot of say. In fact, I would say it's actually a better position than the CEO because you don't have to run the day-to-day. You just have the most say in the company.
Oh, yeah.
So Jeff Bezos can absolutely team up with Musk to stop this, and he's got a massive incentive. I'm going to explain to you why. So there are morality clauses in corporate contracts. I've talked about these before. I'm going to talk about them again here today. You guys really need to remember this because this is standard language in almost every corporate contract. They allow for...
No, regarding what he said about morality clauses, obviously the big problem with Twitch and Hassan is that they're very quick to give people like Tectone like 2-week bans for saying rude things. But Hassan only ever gets banned for 1 day on his day off. So it's redundant as all hell.
For cancellation, for anything that would damage the reputation of the company or anything negative for PR, anything that's not going to be positive for PR in the company, they can terminate for that reason. So all of these would have a morality clause tucked into them. So simply for the fact that this is not a good look for the companies and institutions and governments that are engaged, they can terminate these contracts. And these contracts can be terminating contracts with subcontractors or vice versa. So for example, we had a contractor that was running a Sonic comic book, making crazy statements. Sega.
Wait, there's a Sonic comic book that's been saying that kind of stuff? There's no way. No, I know people mentioning a cartoon, and even someone made a doll, but...
They could cancel that contract. We have bookstores that have already refused to sell Stephen King.
Oh yeah, Stephen King said some remarks as well.
Based on his comments and what he's been saying, right? And you've got anime and gaming, right? You've got a lot of localizers, a lot of people out there that are absolutely unhinged and making death threats and calls for violence.
Cough, Sweet Baby Inc. Cough. Well, I don't know if Sweet Baby Inc. is saying any of that kind of shit.
Companies can terminate that. Conventions, cons can say, we are not permitting violence. And in fact, I would say this is going to be very effective if everybody, all the other streamers out there in their niche, because I know a lot of these guys, you know, maybe you're a bookworm, maybe you like movies, maybe you like games, anime, whatever you like, whatever you nerd out on, you know the people who are celebrating this. And you know the companies involved. You can bring those names and those social media profiles to the attention of those companies. And they absolutely, triggering their morality clause, can terminate these contracts. And there's some massive ones at stake here. Let's talk about the Amazon contract. So Amazon, once again, Jeff Bezos and Amazon have massive amounts of money at stake. Far more than Hassan Piker will ever make in his entire...
No shit. No, Hassan, being a communist with a Gucci bag, I think that he has all that money. He claims to be a socialist who wants to do away with capitalism, yet he's the one that benefits the most off of it.
Career online. He's got Amazon has the wild and stormy cloud computing government contract. This is a $10 billion contract. Once again, no amount of Labubus is going to make that amount of money for Hassan.
Yeah, you could get the rarest Labubu and summon the president as many times as you want. The president will just take it down.
With the NSA. You've got the DoD Joint Warfighting Cloud Capacity Contract. That is an infinite delivery, infinite quantity, multiple award contract. I mean, this is essentially infinite government money that's on the line, right? Hassan cannot compete with that. You've got the CIA Commercial Cloud Enterprise contract with Amazon. That's got infinite delivery and infinite quantity, right? Duration for 15 years. You've got the U.S. Navy Enterprise Software License. That's $724 million. Then you've got a $1 billion contract, or at least a very large contract, with the GSA, the General Services Administration. That's a federal contract. And you've got many contracts, not just with the federal government, but with state and local government with Amazon Business. So you've got potentially all these governments, including your local government out there, guys. And by the way, if you're liking this stuff, like the video right now.
Oh, don't worry. Here, I'll like the video once we're done.
Local government can cancel its contract with Amazon. There are competitors. There are other vendors that can do...
Oh, imagine freaking a lot of more, I guess, right-wing governments taking notice of Hassan and the fact that he's on Twitch associated with Amazon, and so they decide, we're not going to let you do business here.
These services. Amazon is not the sole provider that can do these services. They can intervene, they can come in, and that's why you can and will and should contact your local senator, your local member of the House, your local politicians, your state representatives. All these guys should know, hey, we want you to look into Amazon because they are responsible for Twitch and they're responsible for Hassan's statements. Beyond that, you've got, and this is a post I had on Twitter, and by the way, I noticed a lot of you aren't following me on Twitter, so you want to follow @LegalMinds.
If I make an account, I'll follow you.
that. That's the correct one, not some fake anonymous account at The Legal Mindset. That's my Twitter. But I dropped this one over. We're cancel this contract with the Twitch parent company, Amazon, unless they take corrective measures to remove violent speech from Twitch, such as removing creators like Hassan, who glorify violence and celebrate American death, trigger your contract morality clause. So Amazon has a 3-launch contract with SpaceX. SpaceX can terminate that contract. They can say,
no, imagine if that happens. No, I mean...
Well, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Elon can do it right now. Elon can do it today. Beyond that...
What are the odds that he ends up doing it and then Jeff Bezos is all like, excuse me, bitch?
People are going to say, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair. Guess what happened before? If you guys have a memory, if you remember back in June when Trump was fighting with Musk, Trump decided, hey, I'm threatening to cancel SpaceX's contracts. Well, guess what? They've still got that power.
Oh shit, no, how the tables have turned.
Still got that power to cancel any and all contracts.
No, the bromance between Trump and Musk will be remembered for generations.
They would have with Amazon, with any of the related companies. That's all on the table here if they don't take action, right? That's very, very much fair play. So what can you do? You can contact Amazon. You can post the video showing the promotion of violence and tag Amazon, tag government officials, tag you.
Oh, this reminded me of when like Visa and MasterCard were forcing Steam to remove games that collective Karens deemed was unsavory, and people ended up like flooding their call centers.
Contact your politicians, federal, state, local. Encourage companies to seek alternative contracts with vendors other than Amazon. So say, hey guys, listen, go to their competitors, go to somebody else. You don't need to go to Amazon unless they fix this problem. If Amazon is unwilling to fix this, they need to go. And now a little bit of tips here. This is something that somebody pointed out to me and something I said on another video. Treat this like sales. When you're making these calls, making these emails, treat it like a sale.
Oh,
First
yeah.
of all, start with consideration of the other people and their perspective.
Well, then.
You know, obviously thank them for their time, thank them for listening, be very polite and express why this issue is urgent. Hey, this just happened with Charlie Kirk. There's other people at risk here. This is something that others are going to try to repeat. We need to remove violent individuals and the promotion of violence ASAP, right? Give them specific names or actions. Hey, we want you to cancel this contract. Hey, we want you to terminate this relationship. Hey, we want you to stop doing X. Let them know.
Right.
Offer to help them.
I mean, people are always saying to treat the government like a business. If you're going to do that, well, yeah, treat a business like a business.
If they need information, if they need social media profiles, they need clips, videos, offer to forward them all of that. And you might want to link them to the video, like Tectone's video out there on X. You can download that video, get it out there, and say, hey, look, take a look at this video. This is what's being said on Twitch, which is a subsidiary of Amazon.
No, it seems that everything and everyone is coming together in order to try to take down Hassan and stuff. And it's glorious.
Amazon is an Amazon, you know, baby company, a subsidiary of Amazon. Hey, look at what's going out there. This is not appropriate, right? And last, this is very important. I want to add this to the end, and this is something that I know. Please say thank you. Complaints and raging emails are routine. A lot of people get raging emails and complaints. Very few people get thanks. Many times, many employees have never heard the word thank you.
Oh, don't worry. Whenever I have some sort of issue that needs to be resolved, I'm always very respectful and courteous to like people when I'm on the phone. Like there was this one time, what was it? I got mad at a sibling for something. I deleted his PlayStation account, and so he deleted mine, even though mine was the source of all of the downloaded games that we had. And I had to call or get into contact with someone in order to get them back, and I was very grateful to know that I got my account restored. And I'm also usually very grateful when it comes to like when I'm making calls with other people, even if I have to go on some sort of, even if I'm put on hold, I'm always trying to be respectful of people.
In their career. Be polite in your communication. Be thoughtful in your communication. Use thoughtful language and precise wording. Do not be hateful. Do not yell and scream and demand they do something. Be thoughtful, be precise, be better, right? Be better than the people screaming and reeing out there, and go in with a mission, go in with a goal, go in with an objective to get these relationships broken with anybody that's going to promote violence or any platform or business that does not remove people that promote death and violence.
You guys listening? He's a lawyer, so it would be good to take his advice.
Not acceptable. And remember, saying thank you is free and it helps everybody. You feel better after saying thank you. Like right now, guys, I'm going to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you.
Pakistan, oh Lord. No, that's like India? Well, no wonder you lost my check.
Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being in my audience. And
Of course, Legal Mind says, Mr. Andrew Esquire here. He wanted us to leave a like. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Freaking getting called to Pakistan of all place. No, the last time I called, it was at like one store. I ended up getting redirected to another, which was okay. But the fact that you got your dad Pakistan, that's funny. No, that's funny. Like the stereotype, some stereotypes are true, all right? Whenever you're like, you got a problem, like, hello, your computer has virus, that kind of stuff. Freaking, oh man, no, that's crazy. But that was a good video. All right, that's enough of the heavy-ended topics. Now it's time to look at some more light. Huh. Really? I don't think I've really had that happen to me the last time I called, so I'm not sure. Here, I still have that in the background. Okay, I actually do want to look for the that one video that you recommended, Jackal, if I can find it. The impossible Chinese typewriter. There we are. I think for my streams going forward, after we're looked at a whole bunch of news-related stuff, I want us to be able to unwind and relax with this one, right? 90,000 characters. Oh man, that's gonna be... It's a pretty long video though. Oh, Aisha, here's the song that you recommended here. I'll turn it up just for you. And we could just listen to it before we move on. And granted, that is if you're still in the chat. I'd imagine that you are. Yeah, I just want to make sure that Aisha gets their fix of their music. Alright. Yeah, let's do this real quick, and then we'll look at the impossible Chinese typewriter. I'll probably make that into a standalone video. I've thought of a plan for my channel. Like, some people... Oh, there you are. Nice. Here you go. This is just for you. But I think a plan that I want to do for my channel is, like... I kind of want to do double daily uploads, where my first upload of the day will be something more serious, and then my second upload will be something more lighthearted. Like, I already have a few videos lined up. I've got the Don P. Bongwater video and 2 of the Metatron videos already ready to go. And I've got another video that's already been uploaded, and I just have to make them public. So I think I've got a plan for my channel. I'm slowly but surely, I'm getting caught up with the video editing. So hopefully I'll be able to like stream one day and then edit videos from that stream in order to make them, in order to upload them as standalone videos. But I need to make sure that there's enough content. So I think that's going to be the plan for now. Which I think it's a good plan. I think it's a good idea to do, because I know that some channels will do like double daily uploads as a means of getting more content and getting like... Some people do it for like more money if it's like their livelihood. Like I know that Metatron did it for a while because he was having trouble with monetization, and apparently he was working with a company that kept taking a lot of money from him that was supposed to go to him, and he was very upset by all that. And hopefully that same thing doesn't happen to me, but right now we're trying to focus on monetizing my Kick channel, which hopefully should be, like, I don't know how long it would usually take with the optimizations that we're doing, but, hold on, someone just messaged me. Alright, hold on, let me... Yeah, someone messaged me on Discord. It's one of the guys that I'm working with, but alright, let's go ahead and check this out. I'll most likely turn it into a standalone video. It's pretty long, it's like 20 minutes, so we'll try to like speed it up if necessary. Alright. Alright, if you're watching this as a standalone video, right now we are watching a video by a YouTuber named Julesy about the impossible Chinese typewriter. This is actually a chat suggestion, so... courtesy of Jackal Enterprises of Ohio. Shout out to you for suggesting the video. And I have seen this video pop up in my recommendations maybe once or twice. So it'll be nice to be able to get something in, especially after a stream of heavy topics. But before we get started, make sure you guys have watched the original video. and leave a like and subscribe and all of that. And let's go ahead and see just how impossible this Chinese typewriter is.
This is an English language typewriter. It has 26 keys for letters and 12 keys for numbers, symbols, and punctuation. 2 keys to shift from lowercase to uppercase. Push a letter key and the typewriter automatically types out the corresponding letter. Pretty simple, right? Because the English language is phonetic, this typewriter allows you to write out any English word you could possibly think of. This is a Chinese dictionary. Unlike English, the Chinese language is made up of square-shaped logograms, consisting of different strokes in different positions and different orientations.
And the stroke order is very important. Any resident, I already forgot what it is. Any resident writer of like kanji and Hanzi, I don't remember what the, damn it, I don't remember what the Chinese name for them is, but anyone that knows how to write these knows when the stroke order is incorrect.
They are all unique glyphs, and there are over 50,000 of them. Imagine, it's the early 1900s, and you're a young Chinese engineer trying to come up with a typewriter for the Chinese language. How would you go about doing it? First, although there are over 50,000 characters in the Chinese language, only about several thousand are used regularly.
Right. Yeah, there's like thousands upon thousands, but when it comes to like day-to-day speech, like people talk about how English, the majority of English vocabulary is of like French and Latin origin. And so some people will argue that English is secretly just a Romance language pretending to be Germanic, even though, yeah, it's technically the other way around. But when it comes to like everyday speech of English speakers, we tend to use more of the Germanic derived words than the Latin ones. It's usually more like, it's more of a higher class thing, or more like of an upper register.
Researching, you find out that most printing presses at the time make do of about 5,000 characters. Now that we set our sights on 5,000 characters, we should start thinking about how to organize them in a way that's conducive for typing. Before we get started on this, it would be pretty helpful to learn how a typewriter actually works.
All right.
First, we have the keys, which is where the letters, numbers, and syllables are. Next, we have the carriage, which is the part that holds the paper. The paper is wound around a cylinder, which keeps it tight while typing. As for the typing itself, when you strike a key, the corresponding type bar attached to the end of the key swings up.
I see.
At the end of the
I can imagine how that's how it would work. And you have to do this for every single key, so you'd have to painstakingly making it that way.
Type bar, the corresponding letter slug strikes the ink ribbon, leaving the letter on the paper. Now, because the letters and symbols,
and I guess you have to make it angled so that as the paper moves, you know how to get the spacing correct.
In the English language are limited, around 40 or so. All the type bars can be elegantly stored in a central location. Now imagine trying to fit 5,000 type bars in there.
Oh, Lord.
Forget QWERTY. There is absolutely nothing that would save the absolute pain in the derriere this would cause.
No, I guess for Japanese, since they have their kana syllabary, that would be much easier to transcribe, but...
Now let's go back to the problem at hand. Clearly, we can't design our 5,000 character Chinese typewriter using this method. Luckily for you, you stumble upon a pre-1900s typewriter designed not by a Chinese person, but by an American missionary based in China. Development Sheffield, a Presbyterian missionary from New York, was frustrated that there was a language barrier between him and his Chinese scribes. A scribe is someone...
The story of anyone who comes into contact with the people who speak a different language.
Who writes down what you say. And yes, this used to be an actual job.
Yeah.
This language barrier often produced inaccurate transcriptions of the Gospel of the Lord. A big no-no. So
No
Sheffield
shit.
set out to create a device that would stamp out Chinese characters without needing a Chinese scribe. This is what he came up with. Imagine a metallic...
Oh, I feel like I've seen this before, like a primitive printing press.
Susan, the kind of rotating tables you find at Chinese restaurants. From the center, concentric circles fanned out with Chinese characters inscribed on them. Each character on the Lazy Susan...
That just reminded me of the huge calendar in the Wan Shi Tong's library in Avatar: The Last Airbender, the one that's in the desert.
Had a corresponding metal cast of the character on the opposite side, the bottom of this metallic Lazy Susan, if you will. The carriage holding the paper was placed underneath the Lazy Susan. To type with the device, you use your left hand to search for the character and use a long, thin pointer to select it. Then, with your right hand, you place the paper tray beneath the character, and a small hammer forces the paper to meet the metal cast on the other side.
Oh my god, this looks very, very painstaking.
Operating this device was a painstaking process.
Exactly, I just pre-watched that.
First, each character had to be inked individually right before using them. Second, the entire device had to be...
Oh, you had to do that all the time. Oh man, imagine having to do something like that. I mean, I imagine that it would be a multi-person job, but I'm just saying.
Reset to its original location after using one character. And third, uncommon characters were located very far from the operator, meaning you had to use your entire body to reach some of them.
Shit.
As impressive as this device was, it didn't become a standard for Chinese typewriting. Again, Sheffield created this device because he didn't want to rely on a Chinese scribe. And this would have...
This actually reminded me of a video about, like, the Arabic-speaking world rejecting the printing press just due to the nature of how the Arabic writing system works, because it's all like mostly cursive. There's different forms of each letter that depend on the position that it is within the word. There's the isolated form that is by itself, then there's when it's at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of a word, and yeah, I can imagine how it wouldn't be conducive to, like, with the use of a printing press.
Definitely solved his problems.
Or even
However,
a typewriter.
the point of a typewriter is that it revolutionized writing. It had to be small, it had to be fast, and it had to be efficient. As an engineering student, you wanted to create something that would be truly revolutionary for Chinese typewriting, to bring China to the 20th century. Instead of creating a rotating lazy Susan where you had to visually spot each character and rotate to it, you decided to place all the characters on an X, Y axis, with each character having its own coordinate. This would make for easier lookup. You think back on the elegant Remington typewriters that connected 26 letter keys to 26 letter slugs. Obviously, you couldn't make 5,000 of these individual letter slugs,
No shit.
but you start thinking, why are posters rolled up when they're being carried?
Oh, I think I see where they're going with this.
Because it significantly decreases the surface area. You can fit a lot more things in a smaller space.
Yeah.
You decide that the same principle can be applied to your Chinese typewriter. You decide to affix the character cast
Oh, I see where we're going with this.
to the curved surface of a cylinder. By using this method, you end up fitting 1,500 characters on the cylinder.
Damn.
But 1,500 characters are not enough for Chinese, so
Right.
you decide to 4x the cylinders. This way, you have 4,000 Chinese characters.
Yeah, well, you might have to, like, remember where each character is, right?
Now, each character on the viewable type bed is connected to one character cast on one of the 4 rotatable cylinders. When you find the character you want, you press a lever on the type bed, and the cylinders rotate to the correct position, and the corresponding character cast would make an imprint on paper. Congratulations! You have now become the first Chinese person to create a Chinese typewriter. You also
No, I'm not Chinese, and I've never made anything like that before.
have a name.
Oh.
I didn't mention it earlier, but the protagonist of the story is a real person, and that
Oh.
person's name is Zhou Houkun. In 1916, Zhou Houkun was a 27-year-old engineering student from Wuxi, a city near Shanghai. He was one of the first Chinese nationals to study abroad in the US. An engineer of considerable talent, Zhou Houkun had just graduated from MIT with a degree in aeronautical engineering. At that time, America was light years ahead of China in technology, manufacturing, transportation, literally by all conceivable measures. Do you stay in America, where you'd be considerably more comfortable, or do you return to your home country to try to mass produce your beloved Chinese typewriter?
Damn.
At that time, a leading publisher in China, the Commercial Press in Shanghai, had offered to manufacture Zhou Houkun's typewriter, so he decided to go back to China. However, he regretted his decision almost as soon as he set foot in the typewriter workshops in China. According to Zhou, the gears being cut were like the ragged teeth of an old Chinese lady past 60.
That's an interesting comparison to make.
Not precise like the workmanship he was used to in the United States. Man, that's really harsh words there.
Oh, man.
After visiting 10 workshops in 10 months, Zhou could not find anyone that could faithfully reproduce his original prototype. Specifically, he couldn't find anyone that could make the character casts on the cylinders detachable. He decided to appeal to the commercial press to let him go back to the US and manufacture the typewriter there.
Oh, I didn't think about, like, detaching them in order to put them in different spots.
Unfortunately, the commercial press decided that offshoring manufacturing to the US was not an economical choice.
Oh, shit.
In the end, Zhou was severed from his contract, and the blueprints of the typewriter now belonged with the commercial press.
Does that company still exist?
Luckily for the future of the Chinese typewriter, there was no lack of Chinese talent eager to tackle the problem that Zhou Houkun left behind. After Zhou left the company, a Shanghai native by the name of Shu Jindong entered the company and picked up where Zhou left off.
No photo available.
He made quite a few changes to the original design. Shu Jindong decided to eliminate the cylinders completely, and this was a major reason that Zhou had to leave because nobody could produce the cylinders the way he wanted to. So by eliminating the cylinders, we significantly decreased the amount of characters that can be outputted by this typewriter. But pros and cons, right?
Right.
In the end,
yeah, you win some and you lose some. Life is often a series of compromises. If you're not willing to make compromises, then you're not very unlikely to be able to move forward.
And Shu Jindong edited the design to make all of the characters in the visible type bed movable. And instead of the characters being connected to type bars, each character visible to the viewer was the actual type bar of the character. When you hit the lever on the character, the selection lever picks up the character cast and swings it up to meet the paper. And after the key is released, the character cast automatically snaps back into place.
Okay.
Although the design only allowed for 2,500 characters, the character casts were removable, meaning they can be swapped out for different characters when needed. Shu Jindong's altered version
It looks so small. Wonder what happens if you lose one of the pieces.
was considerably easier to manufacture. And eventually, the commercial press was able to take Shu Jindong's altered version to press, so to speak, making the Shu-style typewriter the first mass-produced Chinese typewriter in the world. This typewriter would be heavily used in the 20th century. Different companies would make their own versions, but in the end, they were all slightly altered versions of the design that Zhou Houkun and Shu Jindong co-designed. And this is where you expect the story to end. However,
it's never where this reminds me of, you think that the story is about to end, but there's always like the epilogue.
Fact is often stranger than fiction.
Oh. If you're watching this as a standalone video on YouTube, in the stream that this video originates, I've mentioned about, I made a reference to quote that similar to this about the truth being stranger than fiction in the context of, well, if you watch the VOD that this video was from, you'll understand what I mean by that.
Especially in this story. Although Joho Quinn and Shu Dong designed a typewriter that could reliably spit out 2,500 characters, the process was by no means easy.
Yeah, all of those tiny little pieces. You might have to painstakingly find each individual piece in order to know what you want to write.
All 2,500 characters are physically visible on the type bed. You had to visually find each character.
And it's so small. And it's like, as someone who barely knows anything about Chinese characters, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between some of them.
Before moving the cursor there. And this was an exercise in eye power and patience. Using the machine means you had to constantly refer to a cheat sheet to figure out where each character was located. Later variations of the machine would have commonly used characters placed near each other, which led for faster typing. But this was still much slower than using a QWERTY keyboard.
Yeah, it's like, where, yeah, you have, apparently there's a reason why keyboards are laid out the way that they are.
One man felt that there was a better way. Born the son of a pastor in Fujian province, Lin Yutang grew up immersed in Western classics, not Chinese ones. Therefore, he was able to view the problem of the Chinese character from both an outsider's and insider's perspective.
Oh, really? No, this is something that I've made known on my streams and in my channel before. Oftentimes, you can't just take one perspective as the end-all be-all. You need to look at multiple perspectives and try to find a compromise and a conclusion based on what you've learned.
Many before him tried to break down Chinese characters into components. In Chinese, we call them radicals, or 偏旁部首, or simply 部首. In the highly venerated Kangxi Dictionary commissioned by Emperor Kangxi in 1716, there are 214 radicals that organizes the characters.
Right, because sometimes these little radicals, they add like a little extra meaning depending on the context. Like I know that the character for trees, when you put 3 of them in a certain fashion, it can mean a forest.
Radicals are organized by number of strokes. Despite this radical organization system, Chinese and Western typewriting experts tried for decades to break them down in a way that was organizable on a keypad for a typewriter. None of them were able to do so. But Lin Yutang was different. He saw the beauty of the English alphabet. A always came before B, which always came before C.
Yeah.
There was an easy way to organize each and every English word in a dictionary.
Yeah, the Chinese doesn't necessarily have this kind of thing. Japanese does have it to a certain extent, where it's based on, like, the way that they order their vowels is different from how we do it. Like, we do A, E, I, O, U, but they have... If I can remember off the top of my head, it's A, I, U, O, E, I think, or O and E are switched around. I don't remember the exact order of the vowels in Japanese.
Why couldn't you do the same for Chinese? And so he looked deep within Chinese characters, trying to find an order to them. To non-Chinese people, Chinese characters look basically like a random combination of strokes in different locations.
Right.
However, a Chinese person sees them slightly differently. Any person who grew up within the Chinese tradition knows that each character has a specific, incontrovertible way that it's written.
Right. Yes. It's only written one way. Like, Chinese is described as being an analytical language. I don't exactly remember what that means, but the way that Chinese is structured, like, in terms of its like phonology and other things, the characters are very suited for the language.
Let's just take an example. In English, you're taught to write the A starting from the top, going down to the left, down to the right, and then a line in the center.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it this way. You can draw
yeah, you can draw it however way that you want. I've seen plenty of people write their letters in very peculiar ways. But within Chinese and Japanese, the stroke order matters like a lot. They can tell when the stroke order is wrong.
Down A, like this. And your English teacher probably wouldn't scold you unless it looked really bad. However, Chinese is different.
Yeah.
Thousands of years of calligraphy tradition has ingrained in all Chinese people the specific stroke order of each and every character.
Yeah.
It's not a suggestion. It's an order.
It's the rule. It is the rule.
Chinese characters...
They're not like walls in Sonic games. Walls in Sonic games are suggestions rather than rules. But stroke order of Chinese characters is the rule. Oh, hi, Rue. Welcome back.
Characters fit inside a square grid. For every character, the writing starts at the top left of the grid.
Yeah, we just got done watching a whole bunch of political videos, and now we're kind of winding down with something a bit more wholesome.
And continues until it reaches the bottom right of the grid. This is the way of the Tao of the character, so to speak. Thus, Lin Yutang used the stroke order as a starting point of his revolutionary typewriter. He found that you could organize every character using this method. So this probably sounds very foreign to you, so let's try to imagine English using this method.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that English didn't have an alphabet. There's no ABCD. There's no order to the left.
I've actually thought about this before as a sort of thought experiment where instead of using the, like, people always point out how English is notorious for its janky, historical-based spelling, like with silent letters, like the words night and night. What is that? We're reacting to a video about the impossible Chinese typewriter and how difficult it is to put Chinese characters into a typewriter format. But going back to what I was saying, I had like English having like silent letters like the words night and night, where N-I-G-H-T, it used to be nicht and knicht, but English speakers got lazy, and so they dropped the initial K and softened the in knicht and nicht until it just became neat, and then night and all of that. I could go on and on about what is known as the Great Vowel Shift that took place across English's history as a language, but you know.
How would I tell the typewriter to retrieve a specific letter I'm thinking in my head? Well, we can actually break down the Latin alphabet into strokes as well.
Yeah.
So let's say I want the letter D. I want the letter D. Okay, so what can I do? I can tell the typewriter to give me a straight vertical stroke. If I do that, the typewriter would spit back these options: B, D, E, F, H.
Oh, I think I see where she's going with this.
I, K, L, M, N, P, R. Okay, that's quite a lot, right? Well, let's say for the second stroke, I want to stipulate, because, you know, the D looks like this, right? I can stipulate that the second stroke has to be a curved stroke. Now we're down to B, D, P, and R. Much closer to our goal, right?
Oh, I think I see where she's going. I think that's how the typewriter is going to work.
Now, for the English alphabet, this seems like overkill, and it probably is, but not for the Chinese language, where we have tens and thousands of characters, many of which look quite similar. Lin Yutang published this system for managing and retrieving Chinese characters in 1917, and this is right around the time that the Shu Zhendong typewriter took off. But given the success of the Shu-style typewriter, Lin Yutang knew he had to perfect his typewriter. In doing so, it took him almost 30 years to accomplish this feat.
Ooh, damn.
Amidst the instability in China, Lin Yutang traveled around the world, where he wrote and translated novels.
Oh yeah, I think this is during the time of like the Opium Wars and stuff, where a lot of European colonial powers are trying to set up quote-unquote spheres of influence in China.
Articles in both Chinese and English, and
unless I'm mistaken,
many of them were quite well received. And he used the sales of these books to fund his passion project, his Chinese typewriter. At long last, in 1947, he finally...
Okay, this is after all of that. I'm guessing this is after the Communist Revolution. No, I don't know why. I guess I wasn't paying attention to the times that these are taking place. And, like, I know that the printing press and stuff like that took place in a long time. Okay, H, give me one moment. I will likely cut this out of the video so that we don't have to... Alright. Dock Walk by Creepy. Oh, creep. Is it creep P? Or I'm assuming it's this. I'm gonna keep the volume down because I don't want it to distract me. Creep P sounds like a Vocaloid producer. Is it?
Finished the prototype of his typewriter, which he called the Ming Kuai, meaning clear and fast. For his prototype, he simplified the input process greatly. Instead of allowing for the stroke input of every character, Lin limited the strokes to just 2.
This music does not fit this video.
2. The first component on the top of the character, and the last component on the bottom of the character. This was something that every literate Chinese person knew, and it would be very intuitive for them to use this machine. This typewriter looked almost the same as that of an English language typewriter, and the size and weight were comparable as well. Except there was one major difference. The space above the keyboard housed a large cylinder made of 6 medium cylinders.
I thought we were trying to do away with this. What do you, I don't know how to answer that question, Rue. I mean, I have annoying siblings myself, and no matter what I do, they either ignore me when they feel like, they either leave me alone and okay, Jackal. I don't know what to say. Just do your best to try to get them to stop bothering you. That's the only advice that I can give you.
Each of which housed 6 small cylinders. Each of the 6 small cylinders had 8 sides, and each side had 29 character tasks. In total, this allowed for 8,352 characters to be typed. The absolute ingenious part of this machine is the selection process. For example, if you want to type out the character Xin, you'd first tap the top part, which is the Ren Zipang, and then you type the bottom part, which is the Kou.
Okay, I see where this is going.
The cylinders in the device have now turned to find the characters that match the top and bottom component. Next, a viewfinder called the Magic Eye lights up on the top of the machine, showing you 8 possible options matching.
Okay, so this is getting like freaking lights.
Ren Zipang and then Kou. From there are 8 buttons on the bottom of the keypad, and you strike the number of the character you want. The rest of the machine functions
that's clever.
exactly the same as an English language typewriter. However, that is not where this ingenious typewriter stopped. Out of the over 8,000 characters in the cylinders, about 7,000 are full characters. But of the remaining 1,370 casts, 1,300 are phonetic components and 70 are radicals, which means that a total of 91,000 additional characters can be made from this machine.
91,000 characters just from using radicals.
Created was an absolute linguistic and engineering marvel. However, a variety of factors prevented him from becoming the household name he deserved to be.
Oh, so we're gonna get to whether or not it even succeeded.
First, when he demonstrated the machine to Remington executives in New York, a malfunction in the machine caused them to take a pass. He even tried to shop the machine around to several different other companies, but in the minds of many, the civil war that unfurled in China.
Oh, is that what you guys are talking about?
At that point, made taking on the machine a huge financial risk. In the end, bankrupt from spending almost $120,000 of his own money to making the prototype.
Damn, no, he worked so hard. Apparently it took them 30 years to try to get this typewriter working, only for the return on investment to say is Chinese. I can imagine Chinese being very easy. You just gotta learn the tones, right? The hardest aspect of learning Chinese is the tones.
Lean eventually sold the rights of the machine to the Mercantile Linotype Company. However, Mercantile didn't want to mass produce it. They simply wanted it to study its keyboard and its character storage system.
Well then.
The machine was later acquired by the US Air Force. The late 1900s was a time in which computers were taking off, and the US government wanted an in on storing and retrieving Chinese information. Much of the logic of the Ming-Kuai typewriter was incorporated into one of the first Chinese computers ever made, the Sinotype, created by MIT engineer Thomas Caldwell. Although Ming's
pay no mind to whatever that was in the background.
magnificent device never saw the light of day.
There's a chatter that wanted to listen to it, and I wanted to, give them a little fun.
The logic behind the Ming-Kuai typewriter is now immortalized in the way we store and retrieve Chinese characters on our computers and our mobile devices. In particular, it was during this time that the Chinese language was undergoing serious scrutiny. The 1800s and the 1900s brought us the telegram, the typewriter, and the computer, all of which were designed with Latin-based Western languages in mind. The Chinese language, with its inscrutable character system, seemed at odds with modernization. Many strongly believed that unless the Chinese language dropped characters altogether in favor of a Latin-based alphabet, that the country would completely perish in the modern world.
Well, that clearly didn't happen, so they must have done something right.
But it's those, like the protagonists of today's story, firm believers of the Chinese language, that help Chinese characters survive to this very day. And for that, I couldn't be more grateful.
Aw, that's nice.
Thank you for going on this super long journey with me.
Of course.
I had planned to make a video on Chinese fonts, and in the process, I'd stumbled upon the as interesting, if not more interesting story of the Chinese typewriter.
That was a pretty interesting story, all things considered. No, thank you for suggesting that, Jackal. That was certainly a treat after the interesting night that we had reacting to all of that heavy stuff. But, yeah. But either way, here. I'm gonna leave a like for her just so I could. So yeah, that was a very nice video. Apologies for anyone if I make this into a standalone video on YouTube and you just hear music suddenly playing in the background. There was a chatter that wanted to listen to it, and I wanted them to be welcome. So yeah. If this is a standalone video, make sure you checked out Julesie's original video to show her some support, and then come back and do the same for me, and like and subscribe and all that. All right. It is currently 4:01 a.m. where I live. If anyone has any anything that they want to talk about or anything like that, or if you want to do a little musical whatever, I know that Aisha likes it when we listen to music and all that, but you know how it is. Feel free to say anything. No, we had a long night. I was kind of hoping that Calvin would show up at some point because I wanted to watch this with him, because I'm pretty sure you get a kick out of something like this, something that we like to call Thomas the Dank Engine. But I know that Biggie Smalls might end up getting majorly copy claimed, but personally I wouldn't care, because I think something like this is an absolute banger. When people find certain songs that seemingly go very, very well with certain rap songs, it's 6:02 for you. Did you just wake up, or have you been up this whole time? I guess it depends on where you live, but yeah, I live on the Eastern Standard United States time zone, so yeah. But yeah, no, when you come across like a song that somehow works really well with the rap, no. There's this one song from a DS game called Trauma PM. Ah, okay, so you live on the other side of the world. All right. Yeah, it's 4:03 a.m. for me, so... Yeah, I'm streaming this late at night because I work the late shift at the place I work the late shift. I work from 5 p.m. till 1 a.m. on average, so I don't really have much of a choice but to stream very late. Granted, I could change up my sleep schedule so that I wake up much earlier and therefore go to work earlier and stream earlier, but that requires a lot of effort, and I know that there are like some instances where you try to brutally change your sleep schedule and it can cause you to get sick because your body is just not used to something like that. So if I do decide to like fix up my sleep schedule for the better or whatnot, then it might have to take some time. Okay, here, we'll listen to that. Let's just wind down for the time. By Creep P. Oh, I saw this earlier. Creepy. It wants a le creepy. A creepy crep. We're gonna call it that. Featuring Cyber Diva. No. Whenever you have an artist that has a name followed by P, it usually means that they make Vocaloid music, but I don't know who Cyber Diva is. Iris, is that how you say that? Hopefully I don't get copy claimed with this, but if I do, at least they're flashing lights, huh? Yeah, this doesn't sound like any Vocaloid I've ever heard. And I see a copycat on the side here. Do you listen to Vocaloid music, H-Sha? Because I know that there's a lot of Vocaloid songs that have lyrics similar to the kind of stuff that you have shared with me. Okay, this does sound like a Vocaloid. They're furry vids. I don't know. I've thought about it. I thought about like looking for like furry memes on like Reddit and stuff that we could react to, but I kind of want to hold off on that as a sort of, I guess, a sub incentive for Kick, because I've thought about it. Some. You do seem like the kind of person, H, that would listen to Vocaloid music. You probably know some Vocaloid songs that even I'm unaware of. An Exorcism? The Creep by Ken McIntosh. Okay, we can look that up after this. I guess we can continue streaming for like another half hour, I guess. Since there doesn't seem to be much of anything else going on. When did I start making? Around May, I think. That was when a friend of my sister made a little PNG tuber avatar that I used to make basic React videos with. And that's what I've been doing all that time, at least until I got my 3D model here, which I'm so happy I got it. I really like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, that's about when I started making YouTube videos. And it is only when I finally got my 3D model that I decided that I wanted to start streaming. And I've actually got some people helping me out behind the scenes that want to help get my Kick channel verified so that I can start making some money, which that would be nice. So if you guys do, oh, your birthday's in May? Well, happy belated birthday. But if you guys do have Kick accounts, feel free to leave a follow. And we're trying to up those numbers, as the Jelly Slugwig would say. Exorcises, you can hear. I don't think I want to do any face reveals anytime soon, in all honesty. If my voice, well, in all honesty, if my face ever gets revealed in some way, it's going to be in the context of some people that I know in real life. That's all I can say on that regard. But I will not be doing any face reveals of my own volition anytime soon. Alright, this next song is Jackal's suggestion of The Creep. Ken... No, not The Ken. Yeah, I get to do whatever. It's very nice. Ken McIntosh. Oh, this looks interesting. No, I like how a lot of the people that come into chat to suggest music, they have like a wide variety. And Jackal seems to like this kind of like classic mid-late 1800s style music, and I think it's very charming. His saxophone and orchestra. Yeah. Now we're just kind of just vibing now. We got through all of the videos that I wanted to. 7 by Natalie Jane. Alright, yeah, we can put that in the queue. Like, I have a little list of songs that I put into a queue here. We got through all of the ones that I found. Yeah, I'll put that up on next. But we'll stream for like the next 20 minutes or so. After which, I've been meaning to, like, end the streams earlier. Like, I kept, like, prolonging the streams at first because a lot of people would show up at, like, the last minute to want to know, hey, what's going on? Hey, what you doing? And I'll be like, oh, man. Midsummer Murders as the... Ooh, that's interesting. Smart. Yeah. But, yeah, I've been streaming longer than I meant to, because this is around the time that I would go to bed, but I know some people might hop in the stream at like the last minute and they want to have some fun, and sometimes I do want to have some fun, even if it's like for a short while. I'm always to help make people's days. I'm always willing to make people smile with either my very brash remarks about certain people in certain positions, and others might just be, I don't know, just wanting to chill, just wanting to talk, really. If you guys want to use this time to just talk, feel free to talk about whatever you guys want, and I'll chime in whenever necessary. I want to be able to talk more on these streams. So don't be afraid to make your voice heard. You guys have just as much of a voice as me and anyone else who decides to show up. Your voice matters. I want you to know that. But no, this music is charming. Although you guys have such a wide variety of songs to showcase. The next time I stream will be, well, it'll be Wednesday night, but it'll be after midnight. So technically, that would be Thursday morning at 1:30 a.m. For me, it would be Wednesday night because of the time zones, but And in the East Coast, it'll be 1:30 in the morning. You think everything sounds like communism? Freaking woke commie bastard. Yeah, freaking all of that shit. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I know we're just messing around, but yeah. But yeah, it'll be like what? Yeah, Thursday, quote unquote, morning at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is like 10:30 p.m. on the Pacific Standard Time, if you want to do the conversions, Rue. But yeah, that's about it. Aw, sorry to hear that, but you're all right. Yeah, I should have, if you go to my YouTube channel, there should be a video titled Channel Announcement. It's finally time, where there you'll get the stream times and days that I want to stream that include both the Eastern Standard Times and the Pacific Standard Times. Because I think of them as the night of rather than the morning of, like Wednesday night as opposed to Thursday morning. That's how I like to think of it. But I know time zones are weird. So, all right, what is the 7 by Natalie Jane? All right, so yeah, that's my general streaming schedule. All right, here we go. 7. This isn't gonna get me claimed, is it? Oh, I should be checking on the... Nothing seems wrong on my end. Here we go. Military fashion show. Dark Souls. I've never played Dark Souls. I'm not usually into those kinds of games, so I wouldn't know. Body Pop. Oh, this one's got a nice beat. Oh yeah, I can bounce my head to this. But I have to make sure that I check the stream to know whether or not I'm gonna get cleaned. Here's a reminder to stay hydrated. Oh, you're a god. No, there's a game called Dark Souls that exists. Here, I can show you. Yeah, this is Dark Souls, Rue. Granted, I've never played Dark Souls, so I wouldn't know what it's like. No, I thought you were talking about the game. I didn't realize it was goth. I don't know what... I'm a Viking. Were the goths ever Vikings? I mean, I know... Well, technically, a Viking is when they are actually doing the thing. Viking doesn't actually refer to the people, it refers to the action of Viking. You go on a Viking. You're not a Viking yourself, you're going on a Viking when you're raiding different places. That's technically what the term Viking means. Parents Clean by Youngblood. Alright. Yeah, we'll look at that later after that. Parents Clean. Alright. If anyone has any more music suggestions, speak. Last call for music suggestions, and then we'll end the stream after we're done with that. But not before I share with you a song of mine. This one's kind of long. But yeah, regarding yeah, that's Dark Souls, basically. I've never played it. It's not something that I've ever been interested in. My musical interests are very, very, very particular. But I know that there are a lot of, like, major like YouTubers and content creators that'll play Dark Souls and other games of that nature, like Elden Ring and other things like that. Hermit the Frog? Okay. Alright. Anyone else? Last call. This is the last call for any songs. Everyone gets... Okay, we got Rue, Aisha. Uh-oh. I just got a... I got a weird message on multi-chat. Your sister's husband. I got a weird message on my multi-chat window that says I don't have an active stream, even though there's nothing wrong with the stream. That's... Okay, it's back. I don't know what was going on there. I didn't see anything wrong with the stream, though. You're my sister's husband. Jackal, if you're still in the chat, if you have one more song to suggest, this is your last chance. The next one is Parents Clean. Okay, I got that message, Jackal. Thank you. Everything is fine now. The next one is Parents Clean by Young Blood. And then Hermit the Frog. And then My Sister's Husband. And then we will listen to a song that I will suggest. All right, yes. All right, here, we'll do Parents Clean. Okay, the clean version, I'm assuming. All right. I have to make sure that this isn't getting claimed, though. I'm going to pay attention to it while we're waiting. And then we'll do Hermit the Frogs and then My Sister's Husband. Alright. Let's see. So, once again, if you guys have anything you want to talk about, feel free to let me know what it is that you want to talk. Because I really, really, really want to talk about stuff. This just reminded me of a song in the end credits of the Jimmy Neutron movie. Here, let me close all of these windows real quick. Alright. I'm just glad that we got to watch all of the things that I wanted to watch today. There was certainly a time. Hopefully next stream we'll be able to do something more lighthearted. As much as I don't want... I mean, I do want to keep up with like the news and stuff so that I know what's going on and keep up with all sorts of YouTube drama that's... Because I know that drama gets a lot of views, so obviously... Really? You're not just saying that, are you? I mean, there are so many much better YouTubers out there than me, honestly. If that's what you're saying. No cap. There are better people to watch than me. The fact that you're taking the time to watch my stream, it really does mean a lot. I know I shouldn't be putting myself down like that, but sometimes you gotta know your place, as harsh as that might sound. But I thank you, Rue. Thank you so much for that. It means a lot. If that's what you meant. Alright, after this, we'll have 2 more of the suggested songs, and then we'll do 1 more song that is something. I don't know how to answer that question, sorry. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, next is Hermit the Frog. Oh, this one looks interesting. TikTok song. Alright.
Yeah, I feel I'm watered down.
It was proof? Oh, okay, I see. Well then, I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And melt slowly to the ground. Yeah, I feel it coming on. When I've been static.
Now we're listening to music that I've never really heard of or seen before. But after this is my sister's husband, and then we'll look for something that I listen to. I have a few ideas of what the last song could be, but I'll have to really think about it. You don't have a TikTok? I don't have a TikTok either, and I really don't want a TikTok. I honestly don't really want anything to do with TikTok, no. Like earlier in the stream, I was mentioning a bunch of TikTokers who were championing the death of Charlie Kirk like a whole bunch of bitches. So I don't want anything to do with TikTok. Let me check this. Alright, everything is okay. Yeah, TikTok is just, ugh. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with TikTok. I have to make sure that YouTube isn't being bitchy. Oh, you gotta go? Alright, thank you for joining the stream anyway. Don't worry, I'm sure he's good. Who was the one that's one moment. I gotta read something real quick. Ugh, multi-chat disconnected again. I'll just leave it on this one panel. Alright. If Rue has to go. Alright, let me look at this last one. I actually don't remember the... What is the artist? Son of a... Oh, sorry. What is it? Let's see. I'm trying to... Is it this one that Rue is talking about? Apparently, Rue said that they had to go, so I don't really know if this is the correct song. All right. Let me actually look for one that I wanted to listen to. If Rue still had to go, unless, are you still here, Rue? If this is the song that you're talking about, I don't know who else is. Let me check. We still have quite a few viewers on Kick, but all right. No, I gotta think about a song to look up though. Well then, oh, I know what I wanted to look up. I wanted to look this song up. Yeah, this is a song that I like to listen to in my spare time. It's a song from Dance Dance Revolution, the 2014 edition of Dance Dance Revolution, and it's called Ding Dong Dang, and it is a bubblegum dance. I noticed that you guys tend to listen to very, you all listen to like different genres, which I can appreciate, but this is the kind of stuff that I like to listen to. And I know the lyrics to this song by heart. And there's also a dance that goes with this song. And I know most of the dance, if you guys don't mind. No, one of these days, you want to know what I want to do? I want to commission someone to make animations of my 3D model and have it dance to certain songs in the background while I'm sitting here doing karaoke. I want to do karaoke of this song with my avatar in the background doing the dance that goes along with it. Oh my god, that would be so cool yet so cringe at the same time. I don't want to sing it out loud right now because then that would be, I guess we could call that spoilers, as weird as that sounds. I want to eventually do karaoke stuff at like the end of streams where, yeah, I just mentioned that I wanted to have like little videos in the background. Because I know that there are a lot of VTubers that will like casually sing songs on their stream. There's a software called Miku Miku Dance, or MMD, that you can animate different models to do different dances. Because I don't know if I'd want to like do the dances myself on camera. I'd rather just find animation software like Miku Miku Dance and just have the model dance to a pre-made animation. I don't know how familiar you guys are with like MMDs and stuff like that. But yeah, there's like all sorts of different animations that can be done using like, people usually use them with like Vocaloid models and even like certain video games. It's like, I know that there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts MMD videos and even some Sonic the Hedgehog ones as well. And I want to do that with my model and just commission someone to animate it that way. That would be so much fun. But it would also look very cringe at the same time. So I could imagine someone putting it in a fucking cringe compilation like a little bitch. Ding dong, ding dong dong, do you feel alive? But yeah, I know the dance, well, I don't remember the entire dance that goes with it, but I do remember most of it. Oh, a treadmill type thing? I can imagine. I know that there are like examples of people doing like full model tracking in like VR chat and other things, but that might be too much of a hassle for me. So I might have to like think about that. But yeah. All right. That is going to be it for this stream. No, we got a lot done tonight. We got through all of the videos that I wanted to, and a little extra as well on the side. All right. So, anyone have any final thoughts or anything that they want to like get off their chest before we finish up for tonight? Because I still do want to like talk about things, although it kind of depends. I'm hoping, no, my hope is that I'll be able to grow a big enough audience that I have people that want to like ask questions about who I am or my thoughts on certain topics, and I want to be able to talk about those things. All right, Jackal, thank you so much. If you gotta go, you gotta go. All right. But if no one has anything else to say, thank you so much for joining the stream. We had a good time tonight, even if it started out like very, very heavy and serious. And hopefully maybe the next stream, it won't be so overbearing. I do want to mix it up every now and then so it's not so repetitive. But thank you all so much for watching this stream, and I hope to see you guys in Wednesday night, at least in the US. If you live in the US, it'll be Wednesday night, and for other places it'll be Thursday morning. So, any closing thoughts? Anyone? Before we finish up? Because I know that Jackal's already ready to go. Alright, bye. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much. Alright, I'll see you guys on Wednesday night. Take care.